The most thrilling, spine-tingling series ever.
From the pages of R.L. Stine's best-selling books,
And the screams go on forever and ever.
We now return to Goosebumps.
Greetings, Goosebumps fans, young and old, big and small, living, dead, and undead. Welcome back to the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. As always, I am your host, Isaiah Vargas. I'm joined by my good buddies, Bjorn Palnick and Nick Shaw. We are the Goosebumps Crew, and we are back to, what else? Talk some Goosebumps. If this is your first time joining us here on the Goosebumps Crew Podcast, well, sincerely welcome you all. If you are or have ever been a fan of the popular Goosebumps series of books or the monster franchise those books spawned, I have a feeling this podcast is going to be right up your alley, because as I always say, me, Bjorn, and Nick, we're some of the biggest Goosebumps nerds on the entire planet. We could talk about Goosebumps for hours on end, and that is exactly what we do here on this podcast. Every week we got a brand new episode talking about everything Goosebumps, whether it be the books, TV shows, movies, video games, merchandise, whatever it is. It has Goosebumps in the name. We're going to talk about it so much that we're going to give you Goosebumps. So with all that said, if you end up liking today's episode, make sure to leave a like and comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification to get updates when new episodes go up every Wednesday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. But if you're just dying to get those episodes early, don't you worry, because you can catch the audio-only versions a day early on Tuesdays on our audio platforms. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you can follow the Goosebumps Crew over on social media. We're available on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, just to name a few. You can also follow Bjorn and Nick at Goosebumps Aussie Fan and Sean, respectively, on their social medias and their YouTubes. All those links are in the description below, so check them out. Join the Goosebumps crew today and become a crew member. We appreciate you in advance for your support. So this is our 80th episode of Goosebumps Crew. 80 episodes. It's been such a crazy ride. And one thing that we have not done here on the show yet, we've done top 10s, we've done rankings. Today we're going to do a tier list. So for our 80th episode, we got to do something pretty special. So we always talk about the original series of books, the original 62. The 62 books that kicked the whole Goosebumps series off. They're some of the most iconic stories in the entire franchise. And for better or worse, a lot of them have a lot of great qualities, and a lot of them have some not so great qualities. We've done a lot of talking about these books prior on the podcast. We even did a whole March Madness bracket, which was pretty fun, all things considered. But today, we're going to do a tier list ranking for the original 62 books. So we have a tier list of all 62, and we're going to tell you which ones we think are the best, which ones we think are just kind of okay, which ones we think are garbaggio on paper and ink, and so forth. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. So here we are at our original series tier list. So this is a template that we found over on Tier Maker. We have 5 different tiers that we'll be going through today. Starting off, we have Reading is a Scream. This is basically the cream of the crop and the best of the best. The S tier of the original 62. So these are the really, really good books that you should most definitely check out if you're looking to get into the series. Next
Monster
up,
Blood will be up there.
Next up,
Go Eat Worms. Go Eat Worms.
We got Ghoulishly Good, which is basically the pretty decent, rock solid ones.
Above average.
They're above average. Yes, they're the ones that are not the greatest,
like
but
my
they're pretty
breasts.
good.
Above average.
God, something like that. But these are the ones that are pretty decent, rock solid books. Not perfect, but they're good nonetheless. Then we got mid bumps. These are the middle of the road. They're the okay, not good, not bad.
East from the East is a perfect example.
Well, they're the sort of forgettable ones, or ones that you just kind of are like, they exist. They're there. And then we have It Will Just Kill You. These are the below average ones, the ones that are really not that great, nothing to write home about. They're just kind of the, ones that you're like, meh, you read once and maybe you skip it and you don't revisit it. And then we have Reader Beware. This is the bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst. Just like how the top tier is the best of the best, this is the worst of the worst of the original 62. And unfortunately to say, there are many contenders for this one.
Attack of the Mutant.
At least to us. Let's put it that way. It's funny
this
because
is all...
if you don't know, guys, at least Isaiah and I post pretty frequently. I don't think I remember Bjorn posting there, but there is a Facebook group that we're a part of, and I'm a mod in, and it's Ultimate Goosebumps fan. So if you're on Facebook, want to join, do it. A lot of good Goosebumps stuff gets posted. But someone today posted that Monster Blood 4 was their favorite book, and I
oh, do they not have eyes and ears?
I have no problems with people that are like, if that's your favorite book, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. No.
I don't know why. Like I was flabbergasted. I've never seen anyone say that ever.
It might have been the first book they read.
It's possible.
Well, they said that they read it over and over when they were a kid. So I mean, like, I don't know if they've read it as an adult. So maybe that's true. Maybe that is something that,
Whatever the case, we do want to make it clear that this is our opinion. If you like or dislike any of these books, you don't agree with our ranking, that's totally fine. This is just our opinion. This is our thoughts. You may agree, you may disagree. Honestly, let us know. Like, we love to hear like other people's opinions on these books, because no one, two people are the same. So that's the great thing about discussing things that you like. So, like I said,
starting from the bottom?
No,
or are we doing this random order?
So this is whatever order that tier maker has given us. It looks like it's alphabetical, so we're just going to go in order that they've given us. So starting off, we have A Night in Terror Tower. Now, I personally am not that crazy about this book. I think it's good. It's just not one of my personal favorites, but I know you two like this one.
I would put it ghoulishly good for me. Like, it's not. It's up there. Mm-hmm. The episode. Look, if I was doing the episode, I'd put Reading as a Scream, or like You Would Beware. But I would say as a book, I got ghoulishly good for me.
I would say that too. I thought the book was okay. Like I said, I'm not as crazy about it, but it is a good book. I will admit that. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with ghoulishly good. I don't really consider that mid bumps, because just going on the story by itself, obviously. I mean, I did enjoy it, but it did have problems too. Like, but it's not something I wouldn't go back and reread again. Like, I totally would. Like, yeah. I would.
Yeah, it's a decent enough book
if I wanted to. So it is good enough for me to put there.
I will say I wish it was a little less redundant. It is one of the more redundant, sort of dragging on Goosebumps books. The concept is good, and I do like the sort of like locale that they choose, because being set in London, medieval times, it's pretty interesting. But in the book itself, and I will say that we're not judging off of the episodes. We'll probably do a separate tier list for the episodes. But in terms of the book, could have done without so much running. I know that we joke on that a lot, but this book really does have a lot of scenes of just running and running and running. Could have been used for more character development, or just, fleshing out the main plot. But for all accounts, it's a decent book, and I think it belongs up there and ghoulishly good.
Definitely above average, yeah.
Next up, we got A Shocker on Shock Street. I don't know about this one. I
read it like twice, and I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember reading this one very often. I might have just been once.
Yeah,
I'd put it at least in mid bumps, though.
yeah, I'd
in
say
my opinion,
mid-bumps.
I'd go mid bumps.
I would
Mid
say it's in the
bumps.
higher tier of mid bumps because,
I
like
think the
it would
story's
probably be
interesting.
yeah, it's an
If there
interesting.
was an in between of mid bumps and ghoulishly good, it would go there. Like, I mean, look, it's good. It's mid. I mean, but like we say, Goosebumps has like sections of what makes it Goosebumps. Like you have the story, you have the cover art, you have the episode. I mean, if I was putting all three together, I would say ghoulishly good. Like if I was comparing them all, but if this is just based on story, the book, I'd say mid bumps. But if I was factoring in everything else, I'd put it as like ghoulishly good because I love the cover art. But
For me, I just don't remember a lot about it. Besides, of course, like the giant praying mantis and things like that. I like the idea of it taking place in a movie studio. I think it's a good concept. It's just not one that really comes to mind a lot for me. I would still say it's in the higher tier of mid bumps, but I do think it's just kind of like one of those in one ear and out the other ones for me personally.
yeah, I do too.
Now we got Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, and I'm very tempted to put this one in Reading as a Scream because I love this book.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me at least, my vote is Reading as a Scream.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Again, it had the Halloween setting, and I like the twist at the end, obviously. So for me, S tier, bro. That's some Reading as a
I
Scream.
mean, if two of us say reading as a scream at least, then it should go up there anyway.
No, it's a very
It's
good
like
one.
majority rules.
That's how that's how we're gonna have to do this because if I consider something maybe Reading as a Scream, but you guys are like, this is kind of mid. Guess where it's going? It's got to go mid.
It's got to go mid. Different if there was four of us.
That's the thing. I have to agree with Reading as a Scream because Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns is a again really good concept. I love the Halloween
classic.
aesthetic. I think it's a very dark book. It's very dark. Just a lot of great twists and turns. I think it's prime Goosebumps story. And on top of Haunted Mask, it's a great Halloween story. So I think it definitely is up there in the S tier for Goosebumps.
It's a classic.
All right, now we got Attack of the Mutants.
Yeah! This is Reading is a Scream, man.
No.
No.
I don't know where to put this. I don't think
Read
it's.
it where?
You think it's that bad?
No,
I don't think it's that bad.
I'd put it at least the one above that.
You think it will just kill you? I don't think
It'll just kill you. I don't plan on reading it again. So that's just me though.
I don't think it's
I'm not going based on the episode or anything here. This is solemnly the book, right?
This is solemnly the book.
I don't plan on reading it again, so
again, this is one I kind of like juggle between mid bumps and it will just kill you, but I do think I don't know, this is just not one that surprised me. I don't think it's a really well written story. I feel like for a comic book, like comic book villains and whatnot, I feel like it didn't really go the extra mile. I don't know. It's just not one that I personally care for. I don't think it's a terrible book, but I don't think
it will just kill you for me. What are you guys?
No. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much would say it's in the upper echelon of it will just kill you. What about you, Nick?
I mean, that's where it's going to stay because that's where you both agree to. But I kind of would have thrown it maybe in mid bumps, lower mid bumps.
You think mid bumps?
Because while it had some problems, it was still interesting enough to not be so bad to where like,
yeah, you know what?
Like dragged on episode wise, like as much as we love Scott Wickware in the episode and Adam West and a few other things, but all that was really in the second part. We all talked about this episode a long time ago, but
yeah,
the book was a little bit on the better side, and I don't know if that's just because it's a book. It's kind of like a lot of things. We think the book's better than episodes sometimes in a lot of things.
I'm going to throw it in mid bumps. Yeah. I do agree with you because, barring the episode aside, the book does go a little more than the episode. The episode for the budget, it didn't have a fraction of what the book does. It is an interesting concept.
No, it didn't.
But I would say it's
separate.
like
my feelings about the episode, the first part at least.
I would agree
book.
in saying it's on the lower echelon of mid bumps. Like it's teetering between.
It's an in between, yeah, for sure.
I feel like on any certain day I would
opinion.
put it in either or, but I'll agree with you on mid bumps for at least a decent concept and some. It had a vision. I just don't think it reached where it was supposed to. Now we have Bad Hair Day. I think this is It Will Just Kill You. I didn't like this one.
It's a classic.
Eh,
I think it's a classic because of the cover. I don't think it's because of the story.
No, the story's just.
I don't think it's reader beware, but I will say it's probably It Will Just Kill You.
I think It Will Just Kill You. It's not a bad. Well, it is a bad book, but it's not a terrible book.
I mean, it's bad,
No.
but like, yeah, it's not like Monster Blood level. So
yeah.
yeah.
Now we got Be Careful What You Wish For, and honestly, I don't remember jack shit about this book. This is one that I personally found to kind of just be uninteresting. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but like what I don't like about it, even I mean, well, the book obviously was different in a lot of ways from the episode, so I'm trying not to think about the episode, which is hard to do. But the book, I mean, it kind of goes in the same line. Like, I don't understand why she helps this lady. The lady's like, "Oh, I'll give you wishes for helping me. You're so nice." And then it's like, "Oh, but I'm gonna mess up every single wish. Like, I am totally gonna like wreck your life."
It was a film before Bedazzled,
it was not.
right?
I was just like, nah. No, because in Bedazzled, it was actually the devil making a deal. That makes sense. This was just some witch who thanked a young girl for helping her and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you some wishes." And it's like, well, you should have phrased it better, I guess. It makes sense for the devil to say that, not for some lady who was just trying to be nice and giving this girl some wishes.
Yeah.
Let's face
Kind of a
it.
douche
If you were
move.
given wishes, what would you really do with those wishes? I'd wish for $1 billion. Done.
Well, I think maybe what they were going for was like just the sort of like choose to stay humble if you're given wishes, and a lot of the wishes made weren't that humble. Like to make everyone go away. Like that's you just if you give somebody like immense power.
Teenager though.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see what they were going for.
If it was like a 6-year-old or something, it's like, I want this toy, or I want this blah blah blah. So I mean, based on age and the fact that she was bullied, that totally made sense what she was wishing for.
Well, for me personally, this is probably like the definition of mid bumps, because I just don't remember that much. I just don't really remember much about it. I didn't remember it being good or bad. It just was in the middle for me. Like for me, this is the quintessential mid bumps book. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think mid bumps or?
Yeah, mid bumps.
Yeah,
that's really tough because honestly, like I kind of want to throw it into It Would Just Kill You, but I don't know if it's like that bad.
It doesn't do anything. Any flaws it has, I don't think are like bad enough to say that the story itself is bad. They're just kind of like what holds it back from being better. So like for me, I would say it's probably like above Attack the Mutant, but it's not as good as Shocker on Shock Street.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle there. So that's me personally. Now we got Beware the Snowman, and I actually think this is a pretty decent story. I think it's one of the underrated ones in the original 62.
It's ghoulishly good.
You think ghoulishly good? What about you, Nick?
I think it flies under the radar. I think it's underrated. I don't know if it's ghoulishly good though. I'd have to think about that for a minute.
I think I would be fine with putting it on the lower tier of ghoulishly good. I don't think it's quite mid bumps, because I do think I do like the location. I do think it's a very sort of isolated horror story, And it deals, I do think, out of the winter themed books in the OG 62, being that and Abominable Snowman, it is the better of those two. I would say it's on the lower echelon of a Ghoulishly Good. It's close to being mid bumps, but I think it's an underrated book in some ways. So I would put it there. Yeah. All right, now we got Welcome to Dead House, and
Reading is a Scream.
Reading is a Scream.
What do we think? Yeah. Below or above Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns?
It's high. It's like
it. As much as I love Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, I still I put Dead House above it personally.
Yeah,
it's good.
Dead House is still one of the darkest Goosebumps books. Like, for being the first, it was the one that really came out of the gate swinging. This was the era where Stein was trying to figure out what that good point for being scary and being silly enough for kids to enjoy was. And this book is definitely scarier than most. It's definitely a lot more gorier than most. And it's just it's a very good concept for a children's horror story, especially dealing with something like moving to a new town. The idea of just an entire town being out to get you is a very scary concept, and I think the book went pretty dark for what it could get away with. So I definitely think it's one of the best.
I wish actually he would have kind of kept that tone, because it wasn't quite Fear Street level, but it was still dark. It was
still like occasional blood mention.
It wasn't super goofy like what we're going to talk about with some of these later.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like you lost what I liked about some of the earlier books, which I get you. It was finding its groove, finding to see what works, and clearly he found that. But when you think about the first 6 books, before they decided to continue the line and go into 7, honestly, the first 6 were, for the most part, kind of dark.
They were.
And I don't know why he changed it going forward. Because even 7, probably all the way up till 12, actually, 11, 12, when you get into like the Haunted Mask, Be Careful What You Wish For, is really when you start noticing the tone start to change, in my opinion, to where it's not so dark as much anymore.
Yeah.
So... and then it just gets off the walls goofy after that. So, that's something. Yeah, thought we were reading Gooflumps later. That's how crazy that shit got. So
I love that name. Well, and continuing with that, we got Stay Out of the Basement, which I also think is going up in the Reading as a Scream.
I put Reading as a Scream on that one too.
Basically, everything you said about Welcome to Dead House translates over to Stay Out of the Basement, because it's another story that's pretty dark. I honestly, I don't know. I've been flip-flopping between whether I think this is even better than Dead House. Like,
see, to me, again, this is where it gets tough, because when you start throwing stuff in the same category, it's all going to come down to personal opinion.
Yeah.
I actually like Stay Out of the Basement more than Welcome to Dead House.
Yeah, I do. I kind of do too. Like, just because I feel
like I don't know, the concept of like zombies has been, I feel like even at that time kind of done to death. But I mean, no pun intended. I do love Dead House and the vibe, vampire zombie vibe they're going for. But Dead House, I mean, like, was just crazy. But Stay Out of the Basement, that is something I think a lot more people can relate to. Mm-hmm. Not having like a plant dad, don't get me wrong, that's crazy. But the fact is, like, how many people were scared of basements when they were younger? Some still are. Like, something creepy about what's in the basement. And so it connects us, I think, on a much more deep level to a lot of people, and myself included, which is why I thought just the hand coming out the door from the basement, it's like something is actually down there. So I actually really like Stay Out of the Basement a lot more. Well, I don't know about a lot more, but I do like it more.
I do think it's better. I mean, Dead House is already like a really, really good book, but I think Stay Out of the Basement is such a personal, internal story. I feel like it's a very scary situation for a kid, because it's your own father that you're like assuming all these deep and dark things about. again, very, very dark, like, for that early era of Goosebumps. Like I said, I'm willing to say that Stay Out of the Basement is better, even if just slightly, than Welcome to Dead House. Bjorn, what do you think?
Yeah, put it there.
No, it's just these two were such a great like start to the series because you have a very external story and then you have a very internal story. Both very, very terrifying concepts for a kid in that situation. So like came out of the gate swinging with those two. So yeah, I would say Stay Out of the Basement over Dead House. But I mean, these three we already have like three super good contenders up here. Next up, we got Calling All Creeps.
I don't know, Bjorn, what do you think?
Yeah, Bjorn, what do you think?
I love Calling All Creeps. I've read that like maybe 5 or 6 times actually, so I'd put that as ghoulishly good for sure.
I think it's good. I think this is a good book. I really enjoyed it.
I'd go ghoulishly good for that one.
Yeah.
If I was picking, yeah.
I would say ghoulishly good too. I think it's a very good concept. I think it's I think it's a great story revolving around bullying because it's not about overcoming bullies. It's about just kind of like taking over in a sense. Because by the end of the book,
it's living the fantasy of all the people who were bullied.
Exactly.
Becoming their overlord.
It's one of those ones that has a very like it's not a happy ending, but it sort of is for the main character. It just has me. Well, it kind of is a happy ending. It's just one of those dark happy endings, in a sense. What do you guys think? I personally,
I'd put it in the middle somewhere.
Put it in the middle.
Then again, I don't know. It depends.
See, that's where it goes against. Yeah, so this is where it goes with personal opinion about stuff. And I actually like, as much as I like Night in Terror Tower, I would put Calling All Creeps ahead of it.
That's what I would say, because I feel like this story is more tight. Terror Tower, again, I feel is bogged down a little bit by like just sort of building up. It builds up the tension too much. I feel like this one has the right amount of it. So I would put Terror Tower behind it. Again,
just from what I can remember, the pacing was better in Calling All Creeps than Night in Terror Tower.
It was a more tight story.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still really enjoyed it in Night in Terror Tower. Obviously, we put it in ghoulishly good.
Yeah. No, it's just a matter of like which one kind of gets to the point a little more, and I just think that Calling All Creeps does that. But yeah. I don't know. I think that's a really good... Another one I think is pretty... That's the thing. You're going to notice a lot with many of the later half of this series. There actually are some really good books in this half bunch. Even in like the last 12 or so. So it kind of sucks that a lot of these aren't easy to find.
Yeah.
Because some of these are pretty good. Oh boy, here we go. We got chicken. This is reading. No, just kidding.
That is reading as a scream.
It's not reading as a scream, but I don't think...
That's your opinion.
I don't even think that this is a bad book. I would honestly put this in mid bumps.
I would. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd put it in mid bumps. I think right here is fine for it because it's one of those... I want to say it's one of those so bad it's good sort of Goosebumps books. It's a good body horror story. If you get past the initial concept, it is a good body horror story. Like even the scenes where like, the kids are growing beaks and they're clucking in class, like it can be a little terrifying. In fact, I remember when we, a few episodes ago when I talked with Daniel and Matt on Weirdest Goosebumps books, like we talked about this book for quite a while and we were just kind of like, yeah, it actually is kind of creepy, isn't it?
I've been saying that since day one. This is a lot creepier than people think it is.
It's almost like David Cronenberg's The Fly, but instead of a fly, it's a chicken.
Right.
And that sort of
difference is I eat chicken, so
it's
bigger chicken,
good.
bigger KFC bucket meals for me. That's what I'm talking about.
Bjorn, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say mid bumps to Will Just Kill You, kind of somewhere in there.
Yeah, let me be clear.
I read it once and I would never read it again. So
Well, let me be clear. It's still not a great book. I would still say it's on, like Attack of the Mutant. It's on that teetering point between It Will Just Kill You and Mid Bumps. But I think it's a good. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe that's too much of a stretch to put it over Attack of the Mutant.
Yeah, as much as we all love Chicken, I still wouldn't put it above Attack of the
I will
Mutant.
say while critically we may put it where it is. We love this book. We love Chicken.
Love this.
But going off of a critical
Comedy
stance,
value is gold on Chicken. So
it's at least one that you can get some good ironic value out of it. So,
if this was a different tier list, it would be S tier. Let me tell you.
S tier. It would be the best of them all. But yeah, it's gonna go in mid bumps.
Slappy and Haunted Mask who? Chicken, bitches.
Chicken. Now that's a look. All right, now we got Deep Trouble 1, and I think this is going to go into It Will Just Kill You. I don't think this is a great Goosebumps book. It's kind of one that just, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Deep Trouble 2 and It Would Just Kill You. I'd maybe put Deep Trouble in mid bumps.
Do you think mid bumps?
I didn't hate the first one. I may go back and read it, but the second one I would just not read again.
Well,
Despite being on the bestseller list, but
well, Deep Trouble 1 is
I think it was just on the bestseller list because Goosebumps was popular at the time.
probably.
I don't think that had anything to do with the actual book story itself. I just think Goosebumps was popular and every kid was buying them up every month.
Yeah. I don't know. Deep
That's
Trouble.
why they say bestseller, not
wherever you want.
prize winner.
I don't know. Deep Trouble.
I'd put, I agree with Bjorn. I think Deep Trouble's probably the very low of mid bumps, but it's still not It Will Just Kill You. I mean, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But I do agree with him, too, was not very good.
Yeah, 2, that one's going right into It Will Just Kill You.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to put it in Reader Beware.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's got to be hella bad to go there, and it was kind of like Bjorn. I remember reading it once, and I was done. I was like, yeah, no, that was all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bad.
Not something I remember a lot of.
Yeah, I just remember that I didn't really like the story. I will agree. The story in the first one was better because it dealt with sea monsters and shit. But the story of the second one was
the bottom of mid.
Yeah.
Deep Trouble 1.
So Deep Trouble 1 mid, Deep Trouble 2 bad.
Ooh.
Now we got Don't Go to Sleep.
That sucked.
Oh.
So bad. In my opinion,
it could be a Reader Beware one.
Folks.
You guys think Reader Beware? Honestly, I would have said It Will Just Kill You. I personally don't think it's terrible. I think the episode.
I don't think I even finished it. Now that I think about it.
Where's that coin for the coin toss again?
I think I read. I don't even think I read through the whole book.
I would say I'm going to put it on the bottom of It Will Just Kill You. I don't think it's Reader Beware because
It Will Just Kill You. Tails, it's Reader Beware.
Is it Reader Beware? Or is it?
Oh, it made it to It Will Just Kill You, guys. I'm sorry.
Just kill you. No, I'm going to put it on the bottom echelon because it's again, teetering on the edge. I don't think it's that bad. I think that it had a lot more decent vignettes than the episode did. Because the episode I would put on bottom tier. If we're going off an episode, that episode's a piece of garbage. I think the book.
Maybe that's another episode we'll do in the future. We'll do an
episode tier list. Well, we're gonna have
from the '90s show.
That will be a very different list right there.
That's
Can we do
fun.
opposite? Can we put the really bad ones at the top and the really good ones at the bottom? And we'll just tell people in advance, this is opposite day. So the ones that are at the bottom are actually the best ones. And the ones at the top are actually the bad
But
ones.
we still don't order it that way.
Just make it a clickbait. Just make it a clickbait title, and then when people watch it, they're like, "Oh my god!"
But yeah, no, don't go to sleep.
You know how we would get people to click that fast if you, Nick, were to like be in the thumbnail saying Haunted Mask is actually bad. Like,
no, you just do like
click that so fast. I'd be like, oh, what?
Twitch.
You do like this pose, like all shocked, like Haunted Mask is bad.
And then straight away you're like, actually, no, it's the best episode.
Yeah.
But like, just in the thumbnail, you could really freak some people out.
That'd be funny. But yeah, don't go to sleep. I personally don't think it's Reader Beware bad, but it's still bad. I would say it's like right.
I think it's Reader Beware bad.
It misses the boat for me, but it's very close. Egg Monsters from Mars.
Oh man. Egg Monsters bad.
I would
mid bumps.
I would say mid bumps.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. I don't believe it will just kill you, and I don't think it's ghoulishly good, even on the low end.
Yeah,
it might be high end mid bumps for me personally, but
I would put it above. I would put it above. Be careful what you wish for in mid bumps.
Yeah, I for sure would. I don't know.
I read it twice, so I obviously liked it enough to read it again.
Yeah, I thought it was. I feel like they could have done more with it. There was a lot of time spent in that friggin' like scientists like freezer to just not kind of like it just didn't really do a whole lot with the egg monsters besides just sit in a room with them. I like the concept more though. It's one I remember more than something like Be Careful What You Wish For or Attack the Mutant.
I'm gonna say it, but this next top row is pretty much all bad apart from maybe like two.
Yeah, next up we got Ghost Beach.
Love your illustration.
Don't think of the episode because the episode was trash.
The episode's way worse. The book
was not terrible.
The book is is the middle.
I keep saying in my opinion, but I gotta say, everybody, don't hate me in the comments. Don't email me death threats. Okay. All right.
I do say it's mid bumps. This is mid bumps. Just
put it in the middle of mid bumps. Just put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'd say right in the middle. Bumps. I like it more than Attack the Mutant.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will say I like it more than Attack of Jack-o'-lanterns. Or not Attack of the Mutant.
Oh, okay then. If you insist.
Yeah, no, throw it in reading as a scream, bro.
There we go.
I actually think the story concept is really neat. It just, I don't know if it's just a thing where Stein rushed or he just didn't. I don't know. Like it just didn't. The pacing wasn't all there for me, I guess.
Yeah, it's
interesting concept. It just wasn't executed well. Let me put it that way. It just wasn't executed. I thought
the twist was kind of dumb. It was a sloppy kind of story. Could have been done better. Now we got Ghost Camp, and I would say the complete opposite because I think this is a good book.
Right. People love this book.
I would throw that in ghoulishly good, personally.
Yeah,
I don't know where you guys
I don't think I don't think it's reading as a scream, but I think it's on the high tier of ghoulishly good.
But Bjorn, do you put it in front of Nine Terror Tower?
Yes.
You would?
Ghost Camp is probably one of the best ghost stories in Goosebumps.
I would say so.
It is really good.
Funny enough, there's a lot of good ghost stories.
You know, yeah, I was about to say the same thing. A lot of his camp stories end up being really good. I mean, when you think about
ghosts,
all the ones he's done.
I think the thing
when you get down to the ghost stories, some of them are kind of like Ghost Beach, but overall, I mean, he really does kind of nail. Yeah, he really does kind of nail the camping.
This is another slept on one. This is another one that's slept on a while. I don't see a lot of people talk about Ghost Camp, but I do think it's. I mean, Stein himself has said he thinks it's the scariest book he ever wrote, or one of the scariest in Goosebumps. So
he says a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he knows what he's saying half the time. But we hang on every word.
But I do think it's a pretty underrated book. I wouldn't put it above Calling All Creeps, but I do think it's up in that upper tier of good.
I agree with that.
Oh boy, now we got Gully Worms.
Just put it where it belongs. Put it where it
I think
belongs.
Reader Beware, honestly.
it's
I
going in
will
Reader
never read
Beware.
that again.
This is a garbage pile book. It's
And even down to the cover, if you listen to Tim. So, I mean, like, it was a catastrophe from start to finish.
This is a book that solely relies on gross. Like that's all it is. And there's nothing interesting about it. It's just worms are gross and they do stuff. And it's so uninteresting. It's just not a great concept.
This
honestly,
is where the Goosebumps Disney Plus show actually shined, which is hilarious.
I rewatched
we've
that
talked about in
episode.
the past episode.
I actually went and
That episode
rewatched
was
that
actually
episode
good.
again, and I actually was like, "This is outside of the context of the rest of even certain scenes from that show I can watch and be like, I kind of like that," because I watched that and I also rewatched the football scene from Say Cheese and Die, and I was like,
Yeah.
especially that scene where it opens
like
the
nightmare
locker
sequence thing on the football field. That was cool. Yeah.
that,
Like
and
I said,
also
I mean, the first season had decent stuff. It just fell flat on a lot of other things.
I love that scene where
we
Isaiah
all pretty much hated
opens his locker, like he's getting all hyped up with his football team, and then he walks over to his locker, and there's that smash cup as he opens it, and then just the look on his face as it zooms in. Like, I thought that was actually kind of awesome. I was like, that was kind of really good cinematography. But we're not talking about.
The only thing it has is the title. It's an iconic title. That's it.
I don't even think the title's that great. It's like go eat worms. Like, I just
Go Eat Worms.
Yeah,
like
no.
it's a noticeable one. People know it when they hear it.
I don't think it's the
They
They
worst.
do. I will say that. You are correct. That is something, if you say Go Eat Worms, a lot of people will probably think Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Which
it
is kind of weird when you think about it.
But this book there's nothing interesting about it. The only reason it got made is because it's gross, and that's all it has going for it. So there's no reason to read it. The 90s episode sucks balls, like even more so.
I thought it was hilarious, personally, but
It's funny, but it's terrible.
because it's so bad, it's hilarious. It's like a D-list horror movie almost. It's just like so bad, it's good.
You could probably
I
make
will not watch it it's not on my watch list.
no,
But
no.
I mean, it
You
was
could
hilarious.
probably like take that episode and put like a black and white filter on it, and like just say this is some lost like 50s B movie, and I'm pretty sure like somebody will
Oh yeah,
buy it.
no. At that point, yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to me because like we're going to be having Ron Stepnick back on the podcast again. Actually, we film with him tomorrow. But I remember him saying how that worm turned out, and they thought like, well, it's a giant phallus penis.
The giant,
Well,
what?
it's too late. We're just going to throw it in there. Fuck it. So it's like whatever.
Whatever.
Giant penis on kids show. Whatever.
Yeah, Go Eat Worms. That's our first reader beware right there. Oh boy, now we got How I Got My Shrunken Head. I don't like this one.
I wouldn't say reader beware, but I will say it will just
I'm gonna say it will just kill you. I don't think it's as
personally,
bad
anyway. But I don't know what you guys think, but
Better than Deep
as
Trouble 2.
over
I put
Deep
it
Trouble
just
2.
I put it above Deep Trouble 2, but not as good as Bad Hair Day.
Yeah, this is
If I was
yeah.
ranking.
this is a forgettable one, and not in like sort of like give it a pass way. It's just it's a confusing one. It deals a lot with magic and things like that. It's not really cohesive a lot of the time. It's not very interesting. It's not great. I wouldn't say it's not a great concept, but it's not fully executed well.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
think the concept was all that great. I mean, it's not something honestly I feel like we haven't seen before in other forms of media.
You know what I think this one is?
I mean,
It's boring. That's the problem. It's
it's-
a boring story.
Yeah,
I
I was
love
gonna say
the
it
artwork.
was like oh yeah,
I love
no,
the
like,
artwork, the illustrations. I love
artwork's
all
really
the-
cool.
Yeah, the artwork's good.
merchandise
All of these artworks are
feature.
great, but
And all the merch that featured it was great too. I love all like the merch relation to it, but other than that,
for the story itself, it's just
Yeah, the
boring.
fact that they actually made an actual shrunken head for people back in the 90s was pretty cool.
you had like a little ring shrunken head. You had
I forgot about that,
this
yeah.
water squirter. You had like You had like t-shirt. You had a lot of different t-shirts with the shrunken head. You had even a
Man,
backpack.
they did use this a lot more than I thought.
He was used a lot. Like he was almost like even on the website, the old Scholastic website, there was always the shrunken head. Like he was almost like one of the little mascots, one of the crew, as you say.
That's true.
The Goosebumps Crew.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I love the shrunken head in that aspect. It goes really well with all the other characters.
Unfortunately, this story. Well, that's the thing too. It's like for as much as he was featured, it's just not. It's not. He's not a character, and this story just doesn't service that very well. Again, it's boring. And honestly, sometimes the worst thing a story can be is boring. Because even a story that's like boil your blood angry.
The
you can at
best
least
scene in
remember
that show
more.
is when he's doing flips in the air, going Kalia, Kalia. When he's playing that like game where there's like those alligators like in the jungle. That game, whatever he was playing, I'm like, man, this looks like
Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just a boring story. There's nothing interesting about it. Nothing that makes you want to go back to it.
No.
And sometimes, honestly, that's the worst thing a story can be is just boring, and so boring that you don't even.
It got a two-parter. It got a two-parter episode. Like seriously,
undeserving.
So insane when there's so many others that would deserve a two-parter that were so much better stories.
All right, now.
But then again, there's other two-parters too that like I just couldn't understand why.
Attack of the Mutant.
It is what it is. I wasn't trying to say anything. Again, love Scott Whitware. Love him, man.
He's Scott, we love you, man. But Scott feels the same way. So like it. Scott felt the same way.
His portrayal is the only thing that saved that episode, and yeah. So rough,
now
though.
I am very curious.
About
how I learned to fly.
Well, this is going to be a reader beware for me personally, but
really?
I did not care for this book at all.
Really?
Reader beware. I think I read it once, and I remember thinking, "Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad one."
Well, this is a bit awkward because I actually think this book's kind of underrated.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
I think this book's kind of underrated.
Reader beware. Hold on.
Let's meet you in the middle.
Make your case, and then Bjorn or I will see if our opinions change.
I think this book, I know a lot of people throw this one under the bus because it's not particularly supernatural. There's no monsters or anything in it. I understand how that can be a turnoff. I do think this is a good sort of like coming of age story in a sense. I think this is a good one for like a character who's building up his self-confidence, sort of like the effects of fame. It's told through like a kid's lens. I think it's a good story on that front. It's one of the few Goosebumps stories that has like a legit happy ending, like no strings attached. This kid gets everything he wants because he realized what was most important. I think in terms of that, again, a lot of people shit on this one because it's not scary or anything like that. And I wouldn't say it's certainly not Reason Scream. I would even say if I were to put it in Ghoulishly Good, it would be like on the lower echelon. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I think this is at least. I certainly don't think it's Reader Beware, because Reader Beware, the books I personally think are in that category. This book is nowhere near that kind of level of awfulness. But this is our collective opinion.
Point. I think the story just doesn't appeal to me, not just because it doesn't have like a supernatural element to it, which is what draws me to these books in the first place. But I don't know. Maybe it is because, it had a happy ending and kid got what he all wanted and things like that. And it just was
life doesn't work like
cup
that.
Of tea.
Life doesn't work like that.
Life don't work like that. And I'm
kids.
Like, F that kid.
Yeah.
But I will give you a 1-up vote of it will just kill you. What is now to Bjorn's vote?
This is why I give it to you. You wanted mid bumps. We wanted Reader Beware. We'll simply meet you in the middle.
Yeah. I would settle for it will just kill you.
It will just kill you.
But my personal opinion,
I would put it. It's got to go right in the middle. Got to go in the middle.
Really? Right in the middle? Oh, man.
You can put it above Shrunken Head if you must.
I'm going to put it above Shrunken Head. At the very least, at the very least, I'm putting it above Shrunken Head. Now, look, I know you guys got your opinion. Fully respect that, and we'll reflect it in our tier list. But if you were to ask me in particular, I personally would put it at least high mid bumps, low ghoulishly good. I think it's a good story, and I think people need to be.
Well, nobody did, so
yeah. Well. That's my opinion. I think it's a decent enough story. I don't think it's one of the best.
It's how you learn to fly.
Yeah, it's how I learned to fly. I think
Look, I will give you this. That's fine. It's when I look at it, it's iconic somehow. I don't know why. I think I remember seeing it. I think I saw it a lot as a kid. That's why.
I would say if there's anyone out there who kind of dismissed it for those reasons I mentioned earlier, give it another chance. You might warm up to it a little more.
You know what? I think we should reread it, Nick.
I would recommend it, yeah.
Maybe I'll reread it. Maybe my view will change. Unlikely, because my personality hasn't. I still don't like the happy ending.
I was about to say, I was like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Probably not, but we'll see. I may try to throw that into my read list again.
But in terms of our collective opinion, we'll throw it in. It will just kill you. I like it more than they do, but that's our compromise.
The votes got you, and we compromised.
Yep, that's what we do. Alrighty, next up we got How to Kill a Monster, and God, this is another one. This is another one I just don't really know. Like
the episode actually freaked me out as a kid. The episode scared me a lot.
Good, but the book is just I don't even know. Like this is another one where I'm just kind of like I don't know. I don't hate it, but I don't like. This is not one.
If you don't hate it, but you don't love it, it's mid. It's mid. That's the definition of mid.
Yeah, that's the definition of mid.
You don't hate it, but you don't love it. That's mid.
I don't know, Bjorn. What do you think?
I'd go like bottom of mid.
Bottom of mid? Like below
bottom of mid.
I'll compromise and go there. I was gonna say maybe it's at the top of it will just kill you, but
yeah,
maybe
I'd say it's mid bumps.
Bottom of mid, because I know a lot of people that like this. I do know a lot of people that like this book. So to make them happy, as well as us,
why do you guys not like it? Because I'm just like I don't have a really strong opinion about it. But why do you guys not like it?
This is one of the few instances I think the episode did better than the book, at least in terms of like
concept of it.
Visually, I guess.
I'm like, I don't really care for the concept of it. Like, I don't really think it's great. It's not your Haunted Mask. It's not your Slappy. It's not your camp story. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea in terms of like when I go to pick up a Goosebump book. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when I pick up a Goosebump book, I just want to read Slappy insulting everybody, because I think that's funny. Like that's just me. I always
kind of thought like when I saw this book as a kid on the shelf, I thought it was going to be about like a monster in your closet scenario. And then when I read it, I guess it was because it was different than what I thought it was gonna be. And honestly, I didn't really like the twist to it as much. I mean, I don't know. It was just, I
thought it was going to be a survival guide book on how to kill a monster.
Mm-hmm. It was just, it was just not that interesting to me personally. I didn't.
It's all right.
It's a bit of, it's kind of a mess of a book. It's another one of those that's not really like tightly written. I don't know. It's another one where I'm just kind of like, it's not terrible, but I don't. It's meh. Yeah, literally, it's just meh. If
it's meh, it's literally mid. Then
it's meh. So I'm actually surprised that you guys said bottom of mid. Are you sure below Deep Trouble?
You can put it above Deep Trouble.
No. I don't really care. Like I said, both of these ones. I
actually like Deep Trouble more.
Hey, at the end of the day,
I'm throwing it at the bottom of mid.
At the end of the day, they're all mid bumps.
I'd almost put it near the top of It Will Kill You. So
I'm not ranking, but I'm not even ranking by where it sits in mid bumps. It's just mid bumps.
It's all just one.
Doesn't matter where it is on that line. It's mid bumps. It doesn't mean that it's better than this book. Like
Yeah.
Personally, if it's in
There
mid
are
bumps,
some-
they're all in mid bumps. They're all
There
there.
are some
So,
ones in these categories I like more than others, though. So that's why I'm just curious because, again, I had no strong opinion. I was just curious where you guys lied. Now, what I do have a strong opinion on is I think I Live in Your Basement is fucking awesome, and
It's a good
I want to
book.
put it in Readings and Scream.
yeah.
What do you guys think?
I was gonna say I would throw it in.
Look, it's your favorite book. I'm gonna say put it in Reading as a Scream, and I
Well,
like
I
it
want to
too.
see what
Go
you
ahead.
guys
I'd
think.
probably
'Cause
put it. I'd probably put it at the bottom of Reading as a Scream compared to the other three, but it is good.
I
I
do
was gonna
think
say maybe the top.
you,
of
Isaiah,
Ghostly
I
Good,
know it's your favorite
bottom
book.
of Reading
I'm
as a
putting
Scream.
it
It's
there.
kind of like in between.
no,
Putting it
Yeah.
there.
I'm okay
I
with that.
I just think this is a really good horror story for kids. I think it's one of those ones that's almost feels like you're trapped in a nightmare, and in some aspects you are. But it's one that relies solely on like the psychology of it, and I think for kids it just plays on those fears very, very well. I would say I would agree. It's on the bottom of Reading as a Scream, but I think this is a severely underrated book, especially considering how rare it is to find. And I wish more people knew about this one because a lot of people I talk to agree that it's a very, very good book. So yeah, I'll settle for bottom of Reading as a Scream. Maybe even like high ghoulishly good, but I think this is one that people really need to keep an eye out for if they find it. Okay, now we got It Came From Beneath the Sink.
Ah.
You
I'm
know,
not even gonna hit this one.
Oh boy.
It's about an evil dish sponge.
It's about an evil sponge.
Just think of it. Just think of it. It's an evil dish sponge. Where do you rank that as a villain?
I
How
don't.
does that rank against your Freddy Krueger's and your Jason's? And your
well, we're not. This is an adult horror, so I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Dish Sponge, SpongeBob, SpongeBob. I don't know. I don't think this is a good book.
Is it at the bottom?
No, it is not at the bottom. I would say this is.
I wouldn't say reader beware.
I would say this is it. I would even say
Monster though, so that's why I throw it in mid.
you throw it in mid.
But it's not ghoulishly good in my opinion either. So
Yeah. You know what? I'll settle for bottom of mid bumps. I hesitate to call this a bad book, but I don't think it's a great book. I don't even think it's anywhere near a good book.
Above How to Kill a Monster, did you say?
I don't think so either. But I don't think How to Kill a Monster is very good either.
Yeah. It's
Honestly, like might throw How to Kill a Monster and it will just kill you. But
just yeah.
But it's sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of mid. Like it's the mid bottom.
Here,
of the
let's do
note.
this. You know what? Let's put it at the very top of it. We'll just kill you. Because How to Kill a Monster is just a mess. And ultimately, I personally don't
It
remember
is,
much
and
about it, but
I just think the whole concept is dumb. Like, why would you, as grandparents, you have a locked monster in a room, okay?
yeah.
And you're going to leave your grandkids there with it. Oh, okay. That's wow. Okay. And then it's like at the end of the book. I mean, the episode ended the same way, kind of. I mean, a little different, but still, the monster dies because it's allergic to humans, and it's just dead. It's like, oh, okay. The whole time couldn't figure out how to kill it. Just
Sneeze on
have
it.
a taste, buddy. Have a taste, buddy.
Just sneeze on it.
Dude, dead.
But
You
when it
dead.
comes to It Came From Beneath the Sink, I would say it is saved from being in It Will Just Kill You, but it's very close. I
would
don't.
say, yeah. When
Hey,
you
R.L.
look at it
Stine.
from this perspective, okay, you look at it from what I just said about How to Kill a Monster, and then you look at how the ending to It Came From Beneath the Sink ended. I would take that over How to Kill a Monster.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it easily bumps it out.
At least, at the very least, for a
so-
concept, it's one that you have to kind of see to see what's going on. Like, it's not one. It's kind of one where you look at that as like, there's no way. Like, So it's at least interesting.
If we
I
can
would
have
say
a
that
cartoon show about killer tomatoes, I feel a sponge is not out of the realm of possibilities.
I would at least say that being an interesting concept saves it from being considered bad. I would just say it's like right at the tail end of that. So, oh boy, Legend of the Lost Legend.
Ooh,
yeah.
reader beware.
By the way, R.L. Stein, for Goosebumps fans, we have a lot of your books in the mid.
Well, Legend of the Lost
That's because
Legend.
the ones that are actually like reading is a scream like overshadow those.
Yeah.
Like when he's on it, he's on it.
Legend of the Lost Legend. Oh, I'd say he's on it. He's on it. With Legend of the Lost Legend, he was not on it. Not even close.
And when he's not on it, he's not on it.
This book is a clusterfuck of a plot. Like it is so insane that like it's not even like fun. It's just like what the hell is going on in this book? Like in terms of the weirdest Goosebumps books, this one is weird and not in a good way. It's just weird in a bad way.
Not in a good way.
Nope. It is. This is poo-poo garbage.
It's just
The twist is dumb. The twist is stupid. It's a stupid book.
You came in just in time. Teach me.
Hey, Herbert.
That would have at least made it more interesting. No, this book, I happily put this below Go Eat Worms because Go Eat Worms, I can at least remember it, how stupid it is. This book, I don't even want to think about it.
Wait, Go Eat Worms is better?
I think Go Eat Worms is better. I think Go Eat Worms is a piece of shit, but at least that book has a little more of an idea of what it's doing. Legend of the Lost Legend, I'm not so sure. I think it was just kind of a throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
I get excited when I find that book in the wild, though, because I don't see it very often.
Yeah.
Legend of the Lost Legend.
Weird.
That's the only thing it's got.
Yeah.
I see it in the wild, and I'm like, my God! I don't see this
I
one
remember
very
my
often.
first copy was because I wasn't really looking to get like true firsts from the original run, not like Scholastic Book Fair editions.
Mm-hmm.
So my first copy of this was a Scholastic Book Fair edition, and I remember the most exciting thing about that book was the stickers. The rest of that story sucked. So I was more excited about the stickers after that story. So yeah, it was bad. I
actually
never picked it up again, and
I see a lot of people say it's. I see a lot of people say it's like their least favorite, and I wouldn't go that far because there are some I hate more.
No, one book we'll get to later, I will say, was probably all of our least favorites.
Oh, sure. I have one that I'm ready to just rip into like a wild animal.
The next like 4 coming up after this one, we can just put them where they belong.
Let's Get Invisible. I think
I'd say
I kind of like. I like Let's Get Invisible.
I've read it 3-4 times, so
I would say ghoulishly good.
Yeah, it's good. If we're gonna move things around to say what our favorite from that category is, I'd probably still put it in front of Beware the Snowman.
I would say so too.
I don't know if I'd put it in front of. I don't think I'd put it in front of Terror Tower.
I wouldn't. I do think Terror Tower is better than Let's Get Invisible, but I do think it's better than.
I love the concept of Let's Get Invisible, but.
Well, of the 2 invisible books in the original series, I do think this one's better. Because you have the sort of.
I agree with that.
You have the added element of like the mirror dimension and sort of like the evil versions of yourself. So it's not just like, they just turn invisible. That's it. There's a little more. There's actual stakes to using the mirror.
I thought that was Cuckoo Clack-a-Doom.
Cuckoo Clack-a-Doom.
Was I wrong? Oh man, Disney Plus, you did me dirty.
Literally, they
just put the next 4
they could have done that. They literally could have done that. But whatever.
Just put the next 4 where they belong and we'll move on.
Okay. Yep. So we got to get through the Monster Blood books. Okay. Here's what else.
I think the first one's okay.
I think the first one is okay. I think first one goes. I think
the first one's mid. Yeah.
In fact, I would.
Second one is over.
I would put it over Deep Trouble.
Oh yeah, I'd put it over. I think 2's only popular because of the cover and Cuddles.
So
That
I
is
put two
literally
as
the only
just
reason I can feel
two,
that got
I would
any
honestly put
popularity.
in it will, and the reason I would put it in it will just kill you is because I think Evan is such a little shit in this book. He actually like fantasizes about, I think, killing Cuddles at one point, so he's a little psychopath. I would put it, I would put it below How to Kill a Monster, because I think if your main character is such a piece of shit,
You don't like it. You
I don't
like
like
it
it.
less than I do.
I think
I would still put it in front of How to Kill a Monster, but
you think so.
I don't know.
I'll go ahead.
Again, that's me. So now that we have differentiating opinions here, Bjorn, what do you
Bjorn,
think?
what do you
sir?
think?
Put
Beyond.
it,
What do you think,
put it
sir?
at the beginning of it. We'll just kill you.
But at the beginning, okay. For me personally, I just think that if your main character is so unlikable that like you don't want him to succeed in anything, that will kill the story right there. And I think besides Cuddles is something that's different. Like that's the one thing I like. Everything else, it's either a slog or it's just why are you so fucking stupid? That sort of thing.
Well, that's why I say like I think that's the only reason this book has popularity is the cover and Cuddles. The rest of it is kind of forgettable, but I personally like if you look at it, it depends how you want to frame a character when you're writing it. If you want them to be unlikable and you're writing it that way, then you're doing your job. It's kind of think of like any character from a show you like. The big one being like Game of Thrones, like King Joffrey, Ramsay, like all these were written so well. You hate that motherfucker. You want him to die. You can't wait for him to die.
Well,
But it takes forever, or it's very satisfying when it happens. But in this case, I don't know if that's what Stein was going for.
I don't think so.
I don't think he ever writes any of the main protagonist characters in an antagonist way, but it seems like he kind of did that in this one a little bit,
In this
whether
one,
he meant to or not.
Intentional or not, Evan is he's very nasty. He's very mean. Andy is just like, like very stupid because it's just like, oh, we should mess with the monster blood. And also like,
Man.
when it comes to the sort of continuity, another thing that really sucks about the Monster Blood series is just the fluctuation of the continuity, because you find out that the Monster Blood expires, but I thought the whole thing was that the Monster Blood was just a random toy that got cursed by Sarah Beth, and now it expires so it loses its power. It's something that doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I would say that this sequel it will just kill you.
Welcome to Goosebumps.
Yeah, it's Monster Blood 1, at least as a standalone book, is a decent concept, which is why I would put that one in mid. This one, I think Evan's character and Andy's character, and just the sort of like, it's almost like a bag of potato chips. It's like, it looks good, but when you open it up, it's not a whole lot in there.
Need a few good taters.
Exactly.
Oh.
The bag's empty.
Now, when it comes to Monster Blood 3 and 4, oh boy, we know where those are going.
Just put them in Reader Beware.
Though these books,
I don't have anything to say about these books.
no, they're terrible.
You're in for a headache.
Everything that's wrong with Monster Blood 1 and 2 are not only present in 3 and 4, but are amplified. Because then you introduce
amplified.
You introduce Kermit, who is also
Not
just
the frog.
as much. No, not Kermit the Frog. If it was
Not the
Kermit the
lovable
Frog, it'd
frog.
probably be better. But no,
It would be better.
The introduction of Kermit into these books, he is way more of a little shit than Evan is. And don't worry, these characters are still unlikable. But then you add another even more unlikable character. Like,
Can you imagine if the TV series did like
It's not
2
easy
parts for
being
all 4
green,
Monster Blood?
Evan.
Imagine if they did all 4 Monster Blood into episodes and they did 2 parters for all of them.
it would be
We had to
worst.
know,
They would be
like-
the worst episodes ever.
But could you imagine like if
Even
we
the
literally
TV
had like
show did Monster Blood better than the Monster Blood books. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it literally is true.
Actually, I think the Disney Plus show kind of did too. I mean, I didn't really.
A
It
little
had
bit.
really no source material to the original, which is
A
kind of
little
a
bit.
plus.
A little bit.
But but they did a little better.
The thing about Monster Blood 3 is that it's boring as hell. It's not only unlikable, but it's boring as hell because it's just about Evan being a giant, which he already was in Monster Blood 2, so it's nothing new there. And then in Monster Blood 4, we're just introduced to a whole new Monster Blood. I watched Paparina's Goosebumps Monthly, and when he got to this book, he was like, wouldn't it be cool, like wouldn't it be at least somewhat more interesting if these kids almost became like monster blood hunters, like they just ended up tracking down every like sighting of monster blood and just destroying it, so that when they get to a new variation, like it's a little more out of the blue for them, like almost like a Scooby-Doo thing. Like that'd be
Out of the
interesting.
blue.
Out of the blue. They probably would have made a joke. They would have made a joke like that if they could. No, Monster Blood. It was never good. It went from mid to shit, and 3 and 4 are shit. So they go right in the bottom of Reader Beware.
You know, it baffles me. I know we've talked about it before, but I just don't understand why he felt this particular story needed 3 sequels in
It
the
had to
original
be a
62
contract.
and then got more love later down the road.
There had to be.
I don't get it.
There had to be some sort of like contract thing. It's like, oh, these Monster Blood books are popular, so we got to do more of them. Like, otherwise,
Maybe?
like,
I would love to know, though. Like, I would like to ask him if we get to ever interview him. That might be
why
a
did you
question
make
I ask.
so many
Like,
Monster
seriously, like,
Bloods?
why did you feel the need to do so many Monster Bloods? And why did you hate your audience?
Why do you hate
questions
us?
I need answered. Why do
You know
you
what might
hate us when I
happen
show you
then?
nothing but love?
His little webcam might just disappear, and then oh no,
Just
But yeah.
like Nick.
Stein, we're not on a phone, bro. I can see you, and you're making the sound. Oh, video's going out.
But see here,
Yeah,
our
no, I
reader,
totally-
our reader beware list right now. We have Go Eat Worms, uninteresting. Legend of the Lost Legend, confusing as hell. And then we have these two, redundant and horrible and unlikable.
Yeah,
Terrible.
we get excited when we find a copy of Monster Blood 4 in the wild with the freaking cards.
Well, and one more thing I'll
It's
say.
expensive.
For this streak of good books that were leading up to this, 59, 60, 61, and then Monster Blood 4. And that's the ending to this series. Terrible.
But
Terrible.
even though for some odd reason he doesn't like Cry of the Cat, I thought that was a very good start for Series 2000.
Yeah.
So yeah. And yes, he did say that. We were at an event. I know some viewers may not have seen the episode. We talked about this. And some have contradicted us saying, oh, but he said he liked it. No, we were at an event, Isaiah and myself, where he was at, and he talked about that. And the interviewer asked him, he's like, why do you think Cry the Cat is so underrated? And he's like, oh, that was a terrible book. That was terrible. And like the audience is laughing, and I'm just sitting there going like, what the fuck? I was like, no, that's
I don't know if it was like some sort of joke or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was
is
a
he
little
just
weird. I'm
kidding?
like, I know.
He never even answered the question. He just kept saying over and over again how
That was a
like
terrible
he was
book.
like, oh, that was terrible.
That's a terrible book.
Can't believe that got made.
you just like you just hear somebody be like, I like that book. Like in the audience.
It was us.
Yeah,
It was
I
us
like
who
that
said it. It was so confusing. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
Moving on. We
moving
got
on.
My Best Friend is Invisible.
I don't know, Bjorn. Let's start with you this time.
Yeah.
Read it once. I don't even remember it.
I think this is
I think I
mid.
read half of it. Realistically, I don't remember even reading the whole way through.
I would say this is mid.
This one kind of like it's hard for me to sit there and judge because someone who has read it all the way through is going to be like, "Oh, you can't say that. You haven't even read the whole thing." Well, we gotta do it. So
I have read through it.
Isaiah, if you read the whole thing, then I guess we'll go by your opinion. But
Yeah, no, this is mid. I'll put it. I I'm debating on like where to throw it in. I'll put it.
It's better than chicken.
I would say it's better than chicken.
I'd put it behind Monster Blood personally, if that was the case. I mean, if you're really struggling that hard with it.
No, it's better than Monster Blood. This is another one where I'm just like very split down the middle with it because it's not a bad story, but there's nothing really like I remember about it per se. But it's at least an interesting concept because, in terms of the whole invisibility story, getting haunted by someone that you can't see is an interesting concept. I just don't think it's particularly...
Yeah, it's called The Invisible Man.
Well, in a sense, this is kind of like the kid version of that. I think it's right down the middle for me. I would say
The Invisible Boy?
Yes.
I did that too.
In that sense. So I'll put it like right there in the middle. I think it's better than these four. I don't know if I put it above these ones. So,
where does Harry Larry rank?
Oh boy, here we go, Mr. Harry Larry.
Harry.
It's going to be Alpha 5 apparently from Power Rangers on this one.
I don't know where to put this.
I don't think it's a reader beware book.
No, this is not.
Yeah, it's not a reader beware book for sure. I mean, I actually like the concept of it more than a lot of the reader beware ones. So at least it goes into the it will just kill you. But
yeah, I would
I would say even above Monster Blood 2. Again, Monster Blood 2 was only memorable to many because of the cover and cuddles. I mean, it may be your favorite Monster Blood, but in my opinion, that doesn't say much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I would still throw it in front of Monster Blood 2 if we're going to keep it in that category.
I don't think this book is as bad. It's a very strange book. But it is an interesting body horror story. And I do think the twist is one of the more funnier ones.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why it's fun.
It makes no sense.
But
that's what threw me off about it and why it doesn't get mid bumps is because the twist was just not great.
It's a funny bad story. So that's why
the only reason I think it's hilarious is because of JonTron.
Yeah,
and his review of this,
JonTron.
And
I'm so glad that you enjoyed that video. I remember the first time we watched that.
You want the 3D card?
I still laugh to this day if I watch it. It's so funny.
It's really good. But yeah,
do you know what's weird? The 3D card actually shows him before he's Harry.
So he's just Larry.
He's just a kid. Look,
he's just Larry.
That's
weird. I don't like
Harry.
I don't like Sam.
It looks like they literally just cut his hair back, and his ears are smaller. That's it.
No, I think My Harriest Adventure, it does belong in the upper echelon of It Will Just Kill You. I don't think it's a terrible book, but it's certainly not a good book. I agree with that placing. All right, now it's time for our boy Slappy. We got 1, 2, and 3. Living Dummy 1.
I'll let Bjorn, since he's the Slappy man, I'll let him start.
Living Dummy 1, I would put it at like the top of mid bumps.
That's what I would think too.
Because the first one is still a good book. Like, it's not a bad book. It's just, it's slow, man. Like, it takes forever to take off. Like, the first, 3/4 of it, nothing happens.
Yeah, it's a lot of, and then there's a lot of fake outs too. Like, a lot of what happens in the first half of the book is revealed to sort of be like a fake out. I won't say how, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a very...
I wouldn't worry about spoiler alerts at this point. The book's over 30 years old.
Well, yeah, you never know.
And this is the
Goosebumps podcast, so you clearly have read it by this point, I hope, audience.
But, yeah.
The cover art is, used on everything. It's so iconic, though, to the point where you just kind of forget about some of those things. You just don't really care. You just...
Yeah, you forget a lot that the story was not even about Slappy, really. I mean...
Which kind of was the other reason I was because I used to read the book and I remember I'd flick back to the front and be like, but hang on, hang on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Slappy was the evil dummy.
I always say
Like,
it's the Friday the 13th of Goosebumps.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Like,
true story. Yeah.
So
Really?
Living
Wait,
Dummy
which
1,
part?
I do think it's a mid book. But Living
But it's
Dummy
like a
2,
high mid. It's like a high mid. Living Dummy 2 is reading as a scream, man.
I'm
Like,
gonna put it.
Yeah, I put it above I Live in Your Basement, but
Yeah,
that's me.
yeah. If I
As far as sequels go, that's like it's probably the best sequel.
I think
out of
I
the
still
original
think it's the
6
best
sequels.
Slappy book. It's the quintessential Slappy story. It was the first one to sort
It's
of
good, yeah.
do that formula that they do with Slappy now, and they've continued, to do so. Yeah, I think it's a very good one. There's a lot of good build up to Slappy. He makes himself known from the beginning that everything is all him. And yeah, it's just a very good follow up to Night of the Living Dummy 1. So I think Living Dummy 2, I do think it's
Shows
better than I Live in Your Basement.
psychotic side.
Yes, it does.
But he's a
And
bit of a mental patient, really.
and I would say I do think
Love it.
Amy is probably. I don't want to see the thing about Slappy protagonists is that they're all kind of the same. There's not a
They're
lot
all
of
female.
distinction between them.
They're all female.
Most of them, but in terms of Amy and her placement, I do think she's one of the best because she's sort of like kind of sick of everyone's shit. So you kind of root for her because of how stacked the odds are against her. So it's just kind of like it was the first to do that thing with Slappy, even after the first book. So
That,
I think
and honestly, again, throwing it to the cover. I mean, we've talked about it, but I mean that cover really sticks out. Between the colors and the fact, Slappy's just got that head tilt, mouth open thing still.
yeah,
Even though his head's technically not tilting in the Night of the Living Dummy cover, it's just the picture's angled. But this one is this one's sitting on your bed, creepy stuff. I like it, and yeah, the story
It's 'cause
was
it's,
fantastic.
his body's lifeless, but he's somehow up. Like he's
yeah,
Staring into
basically.
your soul.
Living Dummy 3.
lifeless, but up. It's
Yeah.
creepy.
Living Dummy 3.
I would throw that in ghoulishly good.
I like
Personally-
Living Dummy 3. Yeah, I think it's better than 1.
I'm gonna
It's better
settle
than
for
1.
bottom of Ghoulishly Good. I'm not a big fan of 3. I do
The
think
episode's phenomenal.
the episode's
like-
phenomenal, but in terms of
Hey,
book,
Yeah, no, the episodes I think better than the book, but
I think what drags the book down for me is that Zane is very, very annoying, and unfortunately, he doesn't get really any comeuppance by the end. I guess you can consider, giving Slappy to him is sort of like the implied comeuppance, but we never get to see it. And this is just
Yeah.
kind of one where, at least in Living Dummy 2, like Amy sort of grows closer with her sister, and her family finds out the truth at the end. Living Dummy 3, it never happens. The main characters just get continuously screwed over, and there's no real, justice for them at the end. So that's what drags that down one for me. But it is better than 1, I would say.
Yeah, and they literally like neck and neck. It's
Yeah,
at the top of mid. That's at the bottom.
they're kind of
Ghostly.
along the same lines for me. Like 2 is really good. 1 and 3 are just kind of like
I would still take 3 over 1 though.
I would take 3 over 1. Despite my issues, I do think 3 is better than 1. So
Because while
Okay.
I think the cover for 1 is better, in my opinion, I still like the cover for 3, but story I think is better. So.
now we got One Day at Horrorland.
Oh yeah, foolishly good, man.
I would say ghoulishly good. I'd put
Yeah,
it.
but I just don't know where I'd throw it yet.
I'd put it.
I put it above Terror Tower, but before Ghost Camp.
I would put
If
it
was-
there. Yeah,
If it was me.
I think Horrorland is a great story. It's definitely one of the most iconic locales of Goosebumps. But
Iconic.
I feel like once it gets to sort of like the reality show, it kind of starts. It's fun, but it starts coming away from the initial concept. I feel like if it focused entirely on the park the whole time, it could have been one of my favorites. But I think it's still a really rock solid book in the Goosebumps series. I can see why it's become one of the most iconic.
Yeah.
So I think I would say, yeah, I would.
It's not a favorite episode to a lot of people, but like you see the horror on so much 90s merch, and you see even today, like Horrorland stuff, like all over the place. Like Creepy Co did a rug, shirts, and everything else. I mean, it's still being very popularized today for a lot of stuff. Cavity Colors did a variant shirt, which looked really cool. A lot of good stuff coming. I'm hoping we get a figure from Trick or Treat Studios in Wave 2.
Hopefully.
The horror. I think that would be excellent.
That would have to be one.
I was gonna say, I would have thrown it in Wave 1, but maybe they want to save some bigger characters for other waves, so people will buy those waves, because if you throw every popular character in Wave 1, you're probably not going to sell, very much in Wave 2.
Yeah.
So if you mix it up, though, you have a chance to do that. It's probably their marketing strategy, I would assume.
Could you imagine
fully expected
Wave 2?
The horror, maybe a jack-o'-lantern from Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. If you're listening, Trick or Treat Studios, I want a chicken. Just throwing it out there. Chicken.
Could you imagine Wave 2 was like Deep Trouble Shark, the Snowman, Beware the Snowman, How to Kill a Monster door with the hands, and then just like a bed with the How to Kill a Monster, like just ones that no one would want.
No one would want. Yeah, no. And then your Build-A-Figure had to be something everybody wants, because in that way you can build it. Like the executioner. The executioner.
Yeah.
Well, like each piece comes with like a leg of the pre-mantis and then the body in one.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
Next up, we got Phantom of the Auditorium, and this is another one I would probably put in mid bumps.
Yep. It's Lauren's favorite.
You know what? I would put it.
It's whose favorite?
Mid bumps.
Lauren's favorite? Really?
Your favorite?
I would put it. Actually, you know what?
This is mid bumps. Of the opera. So she loves the Phantom of the Opera.
I love Phantom of the Opera too, though.
I would say mid bumps.
But
I think this is high echelon of mid bumps. I would put this over Be Careful What You Wish For and Ghost Beach.
Oh yeah, no, I'd put it above Be Careful What You Wish For, 100%.
Yeah,
maybe even Egg Monsters, to be honest. But
yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's the thing about Phantom of the Auditorium is it is sort of another middle of the road one, but I like the idea, and I think it is kind of a nice mystery story. And just something about like
I like the ending too. I mean, it was kind of a happy ending. I know I'm against those, but it was a good ending, I thought. Sort of
and again, a different take on Phantom of the Auditorium or a Phantom of the Opera. It's a pretty interesting story. I just don't think it's a great story, but I would still put it on the upper tier of mid bumps. So, me personally.
Cool.
So, Lauren, we did the best we could.
Yeah, we put you up.
All right.
It's up there.
All right. Next up, we got Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, and I think this one can go right in ghoulishly good.
I think it's I was gonna say ghoulishly good for sure.
I love it.
I'd put it in front of Let's Get Invisible.
Yeah, I'd put it between those two. This is another one that I feel needs to get brought up a lot more. It's a very creepy story. Surprisingly, it is a very creepy story with ghosts and robots and everything like that. It's a very
the cover again. Just Tim killed it. I mean, like, it was one of the few times I feel like the cover kind of gave it away. Really, I mean,
well, it's it's creepy too. That somebody who wants to remove your hands so they can play piano, like actually like remove your hands. And just sort of like, Dr. Shriek just being a weird, creepy guy. Like, yeah, it's a creepy story. I'd put it above Let's Get Invisible. Next up, we got Return of the Mummy.
Oh, actually,
I think
Return was better than Curse.
Definitely,
I'd say it's better than the first.
So maybe
I'd put it mid bumps.
I agree with that. I'd throw it in mid.
Yeah,
Put it
I'd say
yeah,
I would.
somewhere there.
I'll put it below Shocker
Oh,
and
sorry,
Shock.
Lauren. Got bumped down again.
Return of the Mummy is the best mummy book in the original series. Again, basically everything about Phantom of the Auditorium. This was definitely a better follow-up to Curse of the Mummy's Tomb in terms of a sequel. Gabe is a way more tolerable character than in Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. And Prince Koru is more iconic in terms of the Goosebumps mummies. So I would say that this one definitely, at least, again, belongs in the upper tier of mid-bumps. Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes.
If we don't put that in mid bumps, we'll make people mad. At least mid bumps.
But I don't want to put it in mid-bumps. I want to put it in It Will Just Kill You. Because
I don't mind it.
I don't like the...
It's just a fun book. It's just a fun book.
If you're going to put it in that, I would still put it in front of like My Harriest Adventure. I mean, it's at least bottom mid bumps in my opinion, but if you're going to throw it in, It Will Just Kill You.
If you guys think it's mid-bumps,
it needs to
I'll
be at
throw
the
it in
top.
mid-bumps.
Bottom of mid bumps, like bottom.
It's bottom.
I was going to say bottom of mid bumps, but I remember as a kid actually kind of liking it, but it wasn't my favorite.
I just think that the episode changed the story for the better. I feel like how the episode adapted this book
100%
was
it did.
The episode was great.
100% did.
Yeah. So I personally will put it down here, but if you guys think it's mid bumps, I'll throw it in mid bumps.
I think it's
Like I said, it's either bottom of mid bumps or top of It Will Just Kill You. I'm okay with either, really.
Lots of mid bumps. It's actually so funny. There's almost a complete like equal divide between the top two and the bottom two, and then mid bumps is just this goulash. It's funny.
fine. We don't like your books as much as we
Well,
thought
when you
we
think
did.
about it, I mean, so in the beginning, he was, not writing as many books at the time. And of course, you got to consider the ghostwriter scenario later on some of these books. But maybe that's why a lot of these are mid. It's because maybe he didn't write all of them. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
No one will know because it's probably legally they can't tell you. But
Yeah.
just saying, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, as kids, we're looking at these books. We loved them though.
Yeah.
But when you actually look on the face of a lot of these stories, yeah, they're not
Yeah.
completely fleshed out enough, which is
Say
unfortunate.
cheese and die. Say cheese
I
and
would
die.
throw that in Reading as a Scream personally, or near the top of Ghoulishly Good.
I'm debating on whether or not it's ghoulishly good. I would, if you know what, I would put it at the very top of ghoulishly good. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's a very, very good story. I would put it at the top of ghoulishly good. Bjorn,
Where would you throw it?
what do you think?
Foolishly good. Bottom of Reading as a Scream. Like either of those would be suited for me.
Yeah. I'll put it in top of ghoulishly good. It's on the teeter of Reading as a Scream for me. This book is great. I mean, it's super iconic. It's a great. I feel like I'm a broken record saying this. It's a great concept. It's a very dark story. It's very, very dark. Again, that first 6 Goosebumps books, they went dark. Stein went dark with them.
I think
It's
that's
a
why
very-
it's so high on my list. Because again, his writing, I think, was very good in probably the first 15,
Yeah,
12,
I would
12 to
say so.
15 maybe. He had a few misses in between there, of course. Nothing's ever going to be perfect along the way, but those early ones, though, they just set a tone. I was hoping he would keep. Say Cheese and Die that was a great concept. I mean, it's one you could probably sit there and say there's another film or story very similar, but
Mhm.
when you go throughout the annals of history, they're all that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're all somewhat taken from other stuff. God, yeah, I don't know. Like,
It's I honestly
think it's-
any day of the week I could probably flip flop between SK
yeah, I was gonna
here.
say, I keep going back and forth, but I think it's good where it's at.
Yeah, I think a very top of Ghoulishly Good is good. Oh my god.
Oh shit! Reader beware.
Reader beware.
Reader
Honestly,
beware.
this
But it's
is
not worse than Monster
Funny
Bud
enough,
Hole.
another person said this is their favorite book I saw
oh
today.
my
I was
god.
just like,
Okay. No,
oh,
I'm sorry.
This podcast tonight's gonna like wreck some people, and I feel so bad.
I hate it. I hate Say Cheese and Die.
Hey, I don't
Again.
hate it that much.
I hate it. I
don't
hate
it that
it.
much.
I hate it so much.
You
'Cause
hate it more than Monster Blood 4, though?
I hate it more than Monster Blood 4. I hate it more than Monster Blood 4.
What?
I think this book is
I hate Monster Blood 4 a little bit more.
Yeah, I do, but
okay.
Oh my
For
gosh.
you guys, I'll put it.
if you hate
put
it
it
that
there.
much,
No.
My hate ain't that bad.
No,
or any of these books.
I personally think this is the worst Goosebumps book. In the original series,
Wow.
possibly one of the worst of all time. This is a horrible sequel. And you know what? One of the reasons why I hate it so much is because it's a sequel to a really good book. Monster Blood, that book was never good to begin with. But Say Cheese and Die, that's like one of the best. And yet, here comes this piece of shit sequel.
Here comes the sequel.
It makes Greg so stupid because
Oh, geez.
everything he went through in that first book, I would never want to see that camera again. And yet, here he is, waltzing on in there. I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to prove it to my teacher that it's real. And then, of course, him and Sherry are almost die in this book. Like, it's so terrible.
I'm going to read it again tonight.
There's no stakes.
I want to read Say Cheese and Die
There's no
again.
stakes. Everything that was scary about the first book is gone. It's a horrible book. I hate this book. I hate it so much. And
It must have been a ghostwriter for this one.
I don't
Surely.
know what the idea
Maybe.
behind this is, because again, Monster Blood 3 and 4, they're terrible books. They're horrible books. But to their credit, they had nothing to shit on. Like, it was Monster Blood was shit from the beginning, but this is Say Cheese and Die, and you just make a terrible sequel to it. It's just insulting. So I don't know. I didn't mean to like go on a huge rant, but I hate this book so much. This is the one I was ready to just throw at the. If there was a tier below Reader Beware, I would put it there because it's a horrible book. I hate it so much.
Don't share this episode with the Ultimate Goosebump page.
This is my opinion, okay? My opinion is that this book sucks my ass. So that's my opinion. But for the sake of you guys, I know you guys hate Monster Blood 4 more, so I'll put it above Monster Blood 4 for our collective opinion.
I don't think I have as much hate for Monster Blood 4 as you do for Say Cheese and Die again. So I really don't care which ones you flip flop, because again, they're bad. It's not like I'm going to read them again. It's not like that bottom list could be in any order. It didn't matter. They all.
No,
It's
they're
just
all-
a
they're all
number on the
terrible.
shelf
They're all
so
terrible.
your collection can be complete.
Now we got Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. I don't even remember this one. I would. Oof.
The middle of Kill You. I don't know.
I would say
I read it recently again, not long ago, and it was eh. It was eh.
I'm gonna put it above How I Got My
It's not
Strength.
like the Goosebumps movie where they're like, "Well, my grandma lived in Pasadena. I was afraid to go to her house."
Oh my god, I love.
No, that
I
that
couldn't
movie
be
was
Pasadena for months. This book gave me
fake.
nightmares for months. Really? Abominable Snowman of Pasadena gave you nightmares?
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it above.
that
How I
just
Got My
shows you how much of a wimp he is, and I think that's what the setup was.
Probably.
So that makes sense for his character.
But you want to know how you know they didn't read the books when they made the Goosebump movies? You know how you know? That's one reason, but then that's one example. But then when Slappy comes out of the book, of all the books they could have chosen for him to come out, they choose the first one.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Like, Mr. Wood
yeah.
should have popped out of that thing. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna.
Right away.
You know what? I never
Well,
thought
yeah,
that.
like that's
Okay,
well,
yeah.
that's the funny thing. It's like if you had all the Night of the Living Dummy manuscripts, is like, are there gonna be multiple Slappies? I thought that would have been a cool concept for a sequel.
Yeah, like
they were gonna bring Slappy back.
multiple Slappies, but they could have done any other Slappy book. They could have had Living Dummy 2, Living Dummy 3, even Revenge, any of them to open up, and we would have known, oh yeah, Slappy's coming out.
Well,
But
unfortunately,
they chose the one and only one. Like,
unfortunately, to non-fans like us, they're not gonna understand why they would come out of a sequel book. So.
they totally didn't
But
read it.
Abominable Snowman at Pasadena, I put it above How I Got My Shrunken Head. It's just, I don't care for this one. I don't think it's interesting. I don't think it's particularly, like, fun to read. I don't think the Abominable Snowman's a good monster or villain. So, it's just boring. It's another boring one.
Yeah.
So, now we got, oh my God.
Well, we all know where this is going.
The Barking Ghost is going right in Reader Beware. I'm gonna put it. I'm
Join
gonna put
your
it
friends
above the unholy trilogy we have going on here. I'll put it above Monster Blood 3 and 4 and Say Cheese and Die Again. But this is a terrible book. It's a god awful book. It's confusing in its approach because you would think it'd be about ghost dogs, but it's actually about body swapping and pirates, and like it's like Legend of the Lost Legend, where it's like, what the hell is even going on? Like, what is the point of this book?
They made an episode based on that one.
Made an episode based on it. They thought that was TV show worthy.
Well, then again, there's other episodes too that
Yep.
made it, and we were like, what?
Well, in terms of the book,
Say Cheese and Die Again
All
was
books you can
made.
choose. This is where you go, huh?
Hey,
Okay.
what did you think of the Say Cheese and Die Again episode?
that's also a piece of shit. It's also
I don't
terrible.
know. It can turn around. Watch the screenwriters like Dan and Billy just be like, yep, okay, well, we're going to change this, and then it's a masterpiece.
I
Hey,
trust
if
me.
Ryan Gosling was in it, would that have saved it?
I don't think so.
Who? Oh,
Maybe
Ryan Gosling.
maybe Greg himself would have been a little more like, I don't know, maybe a little better of a character, but I just think that script was not good. But Barking Ghost, no, Barking Ghost is one of the worst Goosebumps books. I don't think it's as bad as the Monster Blood crapology, or Say Cheese and Die Again, but it's in there. It's rubbing shoulders, I feel. Next up, Beast from the East.
Didn't you say this was mid for you?
I think this is
I give this one mid.
it's mid.
Like I said, this book to me it's definitely a meh, but it's a roller coaster, and it's kind of fun because it's like a game of tag, and when you read it, you're just flipping through it like,
You know
oh,
what?
well,
I would actually put this.
I give it mid.
I would put it.
And
Yeah,
I know people that like this book. I know people that really like this book.
I'm gonna throw it
like-
between Phantom and Egg Monsters because you're right.
It's
It
not
is
terrible.
meh, but it's an
a
interesting
good
one. It's an adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure roller coaster book, and I think it's if I want a Goosebump book that I just want to read quick and just for a bit of fun, like that's one that I'll just I've read it a couple times, so
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a man.
no, I think so. Nick, what do you think?
Don't have a strong opinion on it, honestly, so I think it's okay where it's at.
Then we
You
got
have to
seal
reread it.
approval.
It might be a reread one.
Yeah,
Next
that
up-
might be a reread one. I'll check in again.
Blob that ate everyone. So here's the thing about Blob that ate everyone. When there is a blob in it, I think it's pretty fun. But it's not in it a lot.
If you ask me, it was lame.
I think this is another mid bumps. I
Kid.
like
put it
the
in front of me.
climax. I do like the climax and the twist, so I'll put it above Egg Monsters. And overall, I think it's an interesting concept. I just think that there was a little too much build up. I just would have liked more of that like monster on the loose mayhem sort of feeling that we got with the last like few chapters.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Twilight Zone episode. Doesn't it feel like that? like magic
Yeah,
typewriter, whatever you write on it comes to life. That sort of feels like something you'd see out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, definitely. It
Like
was
something I saw in the
definitely-
Goosebumps movies.
Oh yeah, no. It's
was
just like
featured in
one.
the first
It's just one giant blob that ate everyone adaptation. The Goosebumps movie is kind of
And
is.
it ate Arlstein.
Yeah.
Literally.
So I like this was always one I remembered for the last few chapters, but the rest of it is just kind of meh. So I'll put it right there.
I thought the cover was more memorable.
It was. It was funny too when I
Park and
imagined.
Ghost. The cover's more memorable.
It is funny when I imagine like this as the monster that's going down the street and all that stuff. Oh, we got the Kukulchakadum.
Ooh.
This is coolishly good.
I would throw that in ghoulishly good.
Eh,
Better than piano lessons, though.
better than Piano Lessons? Is it better than Terror Tower?
I don't know if I'd like it more than piano.
Honestly, I
like
don't.
it more than
It's
piano,
ghoulishly
but-
good. Keep
So-
in mind, everything in ghoulishly good is ghoulishly good.
So here's my thing. I'm
Right.
very nostalgic for this one because it was the first one of the first ones I read. I would even put it above Horrorland. Like me
I wouldn't
personally.
go that far.
Yeah, I know you guys probably wouldn't, but I would. But I know you wouldn't. But I would. But I know you wouldn't.
My 2 cents on it, it would go after piano lessons.
After Piano Lessons?
But to me, yes. But again, it doesn't really matter where you place it in this lineup because, kind of like Bjorn said, ghoulishly good is just ghoulishly good.
Yeah, I would.
Still read it.
I'm gonna
They're all
side
ones
with.
that I'll read again.
I'll side
Yeah.
with Bjorn and say it's at least above Piano Lessons. I do like this one. I think it's a pretty good one. It's pretty rock solid. Oh, here we got Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
And
Oof.
I almost want to throw that in reading as a scream, honestly. That was a
Yeah,
really
like
good
bottom reading of the screen. This is another thing like Say Cheese and Die where it's really, really good, but I can't tell where.
You could
do we
at
put
the
it- if we
beginning
put
of
it,
ghoulishly
like-
good or the end of reading as a screen.
I was going to say, if we put it ghoulishly good, then would be behind Say Cheese and Die, because
Yeah,
if it's teetering, they're like the same level, basically. At that
I'm
point.
Maybe
gonna put
right there is a perfect place, right below Deadhouse. Right below.
no, I am gonna. We talk up Camp Cold Lake a lot, but I would say I like Say Cheese and Die more, and everything above it more. But this is a really good book. This is easily top 10 Goosebumps for me personally. It's a great ghost story. It's a great camp story. I think in terms of our ranking right now, it is the best camp story. I don't know where Camp Nightmare is going to land, but
Oh, it's going to go high.
but no, this is a great book. It's a great ghost story, great camp book. It's right up with Say Cheese and Die in that very, very teetering on S tier range. Next up, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
It will just
It
kill
will
you,
just
man.
kill you.
Yeah, just kill you.
Yeah.
But I would put it above my Harrison Adventure.
I-
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Probably
still
read it.
think it's better than the rest on that list so far.
Yeah. This is it's a bad book, but it's not super bad. It's not one
this is
that
where I was wishing.
And that's honestly more iconic as a cover than the Return of the Mummy, which I kind of think is interesting because it's not the better book.
I'm just a little
but
upset. Like, I
And
get
honestly,
Trick or
like a lot of,
Treaters.
that gets used for a lot of stuff. Like even the most recent Tots figure.
yeah.
Like, it's cool that they used it for Tots, but like, obviously, because Prince Koru for me is more of a, he's way more iconic. Kind of wish Tots did the Return of the Mummy, like for the figure. And you know what they could have even done? You know, they gave Curly like his look with like the mohawk and the book and everything. Like they went real old school merch for that. They could have even thrown in a skateboard with
That would have been
with
cool, yeah.
the Return of the Mummy, Prince Koru, and that would have been such a cool little addition. Like it's his, like the figure, but he's just standing on it. That would have been sick.
To be
Now that I think
fair,
about it.
Prince Koru does come from Return of the Mummy, but I feel like he usually gets his design from Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. I don't really see a distinction between the two of them. So for me,
There's really not. And
Mummy's-
actually, yeah, I was gonna say when you look at all the merch they say it's Prince Koru, but you could definitely tell it's the mummy from Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Yeah. So
Like just looking at comparison, like the red eyes, the scraggly bandage, everything is straight from that first book. So that is weird. I never really put that together because I'm just like, they say it's Prince Koru, it's Prince Koru.
But the thing about Curse of Camp Go Lake, Curse of Mummy's Tomb is that I don't think it's as interesting as Return of the Mummy, and also Gabe is a little more of a kind of insufferable child character in this one.
He's a whiny bitch.
He got way more improved in the sequel. Ironically, it's one of those instances where somebody actually improved in the sequel. Like, they actually became a better person, which you can't normally say for a lot of sequels in this original series. So,
what about Evan?
Greg, what the fuck?
Greg.
Idiot. But yeah, Curse of Mummy's Tomb is not a good book, but it's in the upper tier of It Will Just Kill You. Ghost Next Door.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. I would definitely still put it above Night of the Living Dummy, but I don't know if I'd put it in ghoulishly good. I don't know.
I would. I think it's
just
better.
Right at the bottom.
I think it's better than these three. I think Ghost Next Door is a good story. But it's not like top tier. I would say it's in the bottom.
I don't know. I think it's good. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of like some of the others where it kind of feels longer than it is. That's what she said. And I just don't know.
I think for the topic,
it is good.
For the theme that's being presented in this book, I feel a little more slower approach is necessary. If this were like a full-on monster story, I'd be like, no, that's boring as shit. But because this one deals with a lot of very deep themes, I feel the sort of slow tension and nature of everything adds to the sort of sad and tragic nature of it. Because this is one of the more like sad stories in the Goosebumps series.
100%.
So I would say it's
even though like there's ghosts and some other ones, and they're like children, ghost children. That one, you didn't feel really too bad for the other ones.
Yeah,
that are ghosts.
Well, they were definitely like the evil child, like they're evil.
Yeah, this one you really did.
Yeah, so I personally am going to throw it at the bottom of Ghoulishly Good. I think it's better than Let's Get Invisible, Beware the Snowman, and Living Dummy 3. But I don't think it's better than any of these. I would take any of these over Ghost Next Door personally. Next up, we got Girl Cried Monster. That is going up in Reading the Scream.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a scream. This one's a scream.
Again, I know you're a big fan of I Live in Your Basement. I would still put Girl Cried Monster above that,
it.
But that's me.
I agree. No, Girl Cried Monster is an iconic story, and it's a very
good.
It's a very chilling story. It's, being pursued by...
He eats turtles. Crushes their shells with his teeth, man. That's monstrous. That's a monster.
That is monstrous. Yeah, that is monstrous.
Yeah. No,
and the way it's written as well, like when he crushes the shell and like their little tails like wagging. I'm like, no, that's the vision in my mind
honestly,
is like
made me so sad because like I love turtles. I owned turtles at the time too, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's such a horrible vision in my brain. Like when I'm reading that book, I'm like, "No, what? No."
But this is a very good story. It's a very chilling story. It's a very gory story. One of the best twists in the whole Goosebumps series. It belongs right up there in the S tier. So, and yeah, I would put it over I Live in Your Basement. Yes. Nikki boy, it's time to place the haunted mask.
You know my answer to this one. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys decide on this one, but it is definitely the number one.
Well, we talked up
for me.
Welcome to Dead House and Stay Out of the Basement, and you know what? Bjorn, what do you think?
Every episode I've had a chance, I talk up the haunted mask. So
Bjorn, what do you think?
It's got to be
this is number one.
You know where I put it on my list.
It can go anywhere on the Reading as a Scream scale. It doesn't matter. It's in Reading as a Scream.
Yeah, you know what?
It's in the top.
We'll
Doesn't
put
matter
this
where
right
it goes.
there. This is usually considered the best Goosebumps book. I know we certainly talk the
To
hell out of
me,
it.
like, and to a lot of people, it's considered like almost like the perfect story for
Hmm.
Goosebumps. And
Yeah.
what gets me is like the episode actually almost copied it perfectly. There were a few changes, and actually, I think the changes in the episode helped the story a little bit. Whether they were intentional or not is another thing
Hmm.
we have to ask Dan and Billy when we get them on here. But I personally like. I would love to know the answer to that, but yeah,
Yeah.
perfect story to me. I mean, it's fantastic. So
Now we got Haunted Mask 2.
love, love, love. This one, I personally actually would throw in mid bumps.
I think it's
The episode
mid-bumps.
did it way, way better. The changes they made. If the book was like the episode, I would have put it back up and reading as a screen.
Yeah, this is definitely mid-bumps. I'll put it...
I would still throw it in front of like Night of the Living Dummy. Just this is me, of
So,
course.
yeah.
Like you don't have to do it. I'm just saying, and Bjorn can have his
Bjorn, what do
say on
you
this
think?
too. But like, the Night of the Living Dummy was just too slow for me. Whereas the problems with the Haunted Mask 2 story, while they were present, for me personally, like the choices that they made story wise,
Yeah.
was still at least a little more consistent and kept me interested.
It's another instance where I feel the main character...
Hey, Isaiah, close your eyes and do this.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'll put it above Night of the Living Dummy 1. It's just a matter, it's kind of like Monster Blood 2, where it's like the main character is very unlikable, and not in a way where you're like there's a way to do an unlikable character good, and I just think Steve is too much of an asshole in this story. He torments like little kids. He's just way too unlikable. The episode changed it up where he's just kind of just a jerk, but he's someone you can still sympathize with a little bit. Here I'm like, dude, I don't care if this kid stays an old man forever. He's an asshole. So it's just not as airtight.
Yeah, no, the episode changes were phenomenal compared to the book.
Yes.
I mean, you actually really did feel bad for Steve in the episode. And I like the fact that they included Carly Beth and Sabrina a bit more in the episode compared to the book. The fact that he's not tormenting, what was it, fifth graders, if I remember right?
I think he was
something
tormenting
like that.
first graders. Like
First
little
graders? I
kids.
couldn't remember.
I think so.
They
It
were
was like little
classmen, though,
kids.
basically. Like younger kids. It was just like, it was so weird.
No,
Like,
he's a
really?
big piece of shit,
I mean,
and it kind of taints the story when your
yeah.
character's a big piece of shit. So,
yeah, you really didn't have too much of a feel for him on that one. But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it was still a decent story.
It was a
compared to
decent
some that
enough
kept me
follow-up.
at least reading it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was no Night of the Living Dummy 2, but it was all right.
No, it was a decent enough sequel, but it still lands in higher tier of mid.
And it baffles me why we never really got, like, again, Monster Blood gets 4, but, we can't get, a third Haunted Mask in the original 62, which I didn't get because it was a very popular series.
Yeah.
Very popular to a lot to people.
At least
Monster Blood wasn't. So I can't wait till we dive into that episode.
At least we got one
when we talk about Monster Blood. Jiminy Christmas, that's going to be.
I still consider
bitch
Horrorland
fest.
to be like Haunted Mask 3 because it seems like a spiritual sequel. Haunted School. Ooh,
It's a good book.
it's a very
Honestly,
good
yeah, this is really good. This is one a lot of people consider like one of the scariest ones,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
One of the most like daunting and
A lot of
hopeless
people
ones.
were. Yeah, a lot of people were. I think it was this one.
Oof.
Ghoulishly good.
It's been a while.
I've seen,
I would throw it in ghoulishly good.
I would
for
say
sure.
ghoulishly good. I've seen people put it in like their top 10, which is crazy. I'm gonna put it. I'll put it below Camp Cold Lake. This is a very good story. Again, like something about those last few books, barring this one, were very, very like creepy and scary. And this one just being trapped in a whole different world, sucked of all color, all life. is very, very terrifying. And even at the end, it's just kind of like there's no escape. It's one of those very hopeless sort of horror stories where there's no escape from the horror.
This is one I wish they would have made an episode of.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
this would have been really good.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. Hopefully, someday, if they continue to do the Disney Plus show, I hope they consider adapting it and doing it justice. So, but we can only dream. But I think this is another one of those very underrated ones, and I think right up here, Sage Season Die and Camp Cold Lake Haunted School, I would put there.
Yeah, I think it gets slept on quite a bit just because it gets overshadowed by those reading as a Scream books that are up there. Even all the way down to Monster Blood 2, because like I said, just the cover and cuddles are so iconic. They overshadow the terrible story.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Headless Ghost.
Ooh, Headless Ghost. I put that in Ghoulishly Good, personally. I really like that story.
I'm going to put it above Ghost Next Door. Because
I think that's fair.
I like this. I like how many ghost stories are in this one. I like that it's sort of like urban legend-esque. It's very chilling in how they talk about like all the deaths of these people. Very, very fun. I really like this one. Bjorn, what do you think?
It's creepy. I agree. I'd say it's definitely better than Ghost Next Door.
Creepy crawlers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do. I was just trying to see if I could add anything to it, but no.
Oh boy, Bjorn, we got to know what you think about horror. I can't tell you.
Got to start with you on this one, buddy.
Yep.
I already know where I put that one. Screen Rant put it up high on their list too, so it's all good.
It's a good one, but I don't know if I would put it in Readings of Scream. I would still put this like higher tier Ghoulishly Good.
I'd put it behind Curse of Camp Cold Lake, but that's me
too. No, I think that's a good spot.
We gotta see where Bjorn would place it. This is his.
I know Bjorn would.
Place it up the top.
I know Bjorn would probably put it even above Haunted Mask.
I would put it in Reading as a Scream, even if it was like at the bottom there.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with Nick though that it's an upper Ghoulishly Good. I don't think it's better than these ones, but it's in that group that these four are in, where it's like it could be there, but I don't think it's quite there. But it's a good story. I think it is. Oh boy, Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. It's another Ghoulishly Good.
Oh, to me, yeah. See that again? I'm the flip of Bjorn. Like this would be a Reading as a Scream for me.
Oh,
like I absolutely loved this book when I was a kid.
I'm tempted too. This one's
I read it so much. I still have my original copy. It is like well loved because I read it so much.
You know what?
But
Bjorn, what do you think?
Again, like looking at it objectively with you two, I mean, like that's why I leave it to you guys.
Yeah,
I'd probably put it like above Calling All Creeps at least in Ghoulishly Good.
Yeah, oh definitely. I would definitely put it above Calling All Creeps. But I really like this one.
Like above Calling All Creeps or like maybe Haunted School, somewhere there, roughly. That's where I would sit it for me, roughly.
For me, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of Reading the Scream because I really like this one. I love the locale. I love how creepy scarecrows are, and I gotta agree with Nick. This is one I really liked growing up. Yeah. And you know what, Bjorn? Here's what I'll do. I'm thinking too. I'll put Jelly Jam above Camp Cold Lake. I do think it's good. No?
It's got to be majority rules.
No? Okay.
You put it where YouTube thought it would go.
No,
I'll put it up the top, but I'd put it up the top, but you guys put it.
Yeah, no. In terms of Scarecrow,
no, I mean, I feel you. I mean, like, if this was all of our personal list, obviously this would look much different.
No, definitely. This is what we have to come to an agreement as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, I'd have Scarecrow above a lot of things. I mean, maybe not Oh, see, that's where it would get tough. I'll have to do my own list sometime.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Maybe we'll have to do that.
That's another video for another time.
Maybe sometime we'll do our own list. Well, that would be cool. But this is, we do have to come to an agreement. So I would put Scarecrow at the bottom of Reading as a Scream. Time for Werewolf of Fever Swamp. I think this is another Reading as a Scream right here.
Sure, Reading as a Scream. That is one of my top 3 books. So
I'm going to put it... Honestly...
To me, I would even put it in front of Stay Out of the Basement.
Really? That high?
Literally that good to me. To me, yes.
Bjorn, what do you think?
I love werewolf stories, and this one was so well written, and the episode only boosted the story for me more.
Yeah.
So I and the cover, Tim did an amazing job with those colors. Now I wish the werewolf was actually a werewolf on the cover, not just a wolf.
That's one thing I think Brandon Dorman did
at that point, I guess.
Yeah,
he did. I think. What? Yeah, no, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I didn't like his version of a werewolf, but at least it was a werewolf, not just.
I'd put it above Gillicrime Monster, to be honest.
I'm gonna put it there too. I was having trouble putting it above Living Dummy and Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, but this definitely is.
Living Dummy 2 is like the Terminator 2 of that series, so it's hard to put something, because that's like me trying to say, one of the Terminator sequels was better than 2. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
not even Terminator 1 was better than Terminator 2. Terminator 2 was the best of the whole Terminator stuff.
Yeah, of everything.
I feel you on that one.
Before and after.
I feel you on that one.
Vampire Breath.
There are those that say T1. They do some like T1 better because it's more horror, but I'm like, no, T2 was just horror.
I think a lot of people only say that because that's the original, and they maybe grew up with that film. But 2 overall was just, to me, everything was better in 2. From production design to filming to everything. Acting, everything was better. Mostly because Arnold, at that point, had played the character, but now has a new direction to take it. So, and he got to play off of a T-1000 played by Robert Patrick. That was epic. So,
my favorite
pick all of that and put it towards Living Dummy 2. That's how we feel about that.
That's what I'm saying. I had to, because I compare it to Living Dummy 2 being the best sequel, one of the best Goosebumps sequels. So I'm that's like saying Terminator 2. So I'm like, nah.
So
it has to stay where it is.
Vampire Breath.
Vampire Breath, I would throw in.
I think there's another mid bumps
near the bottom of mid bumps.
I would put it
Monster Blood.
Below Monster Blood?
Least.
That bad?
No, above at least. At least above.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it above Ghost Camp. I think this is better than Ghost Beach. I think it's better than Ghost Beach. But it's sort of in that be careful what you wish for camp, where it's
see,
I don't remember much.
I'm the other way. I don't think it's better than Ghost Beach. But again, this is where opinions will come into play about certain story likes and dislikes. But
this middle chunk, I could honestly go back and forth on. Bjorn, what do you think? Do you think this is better than Ghost Beach, or do you think it's not as good? I at least think it's better than Attack of the Mutant.
They're the same.
They're the same. I'll put it.
I really just didn't
Ghost
care for the concept of Vampire Breath. I almost put it in the "it will just kill you" category.
As long as they're sitting next to each other.
But
yeah, no, I'll put it below Ghost Beach. I at least think it's better than Attack of the Mutant. All right, here we go. Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
Ooh,
that's gotta go up the top. Surely.
Up on the top.
We get smacked if not.
No, I think it's.
I put it in Reading as a Scream as well. I'm just trying to figure out where.
Honestly,
because that's where it gets difficult. Because I don't think it's better than Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, but I do think it's better than I Live in Your Basement. Just because the whole.
Here, let's do this then.
Crazy.
Let's do
that. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. The more I actually go through this list, the more I'm like, I Live in Your Basement, but there are better books. So I would basically move I Live in Your Basement to the end, but I do think that Scarecrow is better than Camp Nightmare. But Camp Nightmare, I mean, this is basically our top 10 at the moment. are these ones. And Welcome to
Right.
Camp Nightmare has to be in that top 10 at least. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
That'd be tough.
Decent
Again, that would
placement.
go down to a personal.
Yeah,
It's Camp Nightmare is just an all-around good from
Yeah.
everything. All
it's a
aspects of it.
peak book. It's peak.
It's the story, the cover, the title, the episode, everything. Like literally, the whole thing is just good in all aspects. Like name one thing about all the media that's bad to do with Camp Nightmare, apart from maybe the reissue cover or something. Like, it's like in all aspects, it's good.
Now we got Werewolf Skin.
It's a screamer. Werewolf Skin.
Yeah, see,
I like Werewolf Skin.
I really like that one.
I like it.
I really like it.
Yeah, I really like Werewolf Skin.
But would I put
gotta be
it
good if
above?
it's good.
I don't think I'd put it above any of these. I think
No,
it's
I would put it
definitely
above
like-
any of those.
I'd
I'm just
put it
wondering
like,
if it should go like in the end of Reading as a Scream or somewhere after.
I'd put it like
For me, I love
mid-
werewolf stories, and again, this
mid
comes
and
down to a
ghoulish.
personal thing. But I would throw it in front of Say Cheese and Die. But
yeah,
that's me.
yeah. I could see it.
'Cause I
Bjorn,
could
what do you
totally see
think?
where like maybe like the top 5, 6 would be flip floppy.
Yeah,
I put it. Oh God, I don't know.
I know, dude.
The thing is, I like Horrorland more than like I love it, but I'd read Horrorland over it.
that's
You
the
know?
thing.
Like,
I could see it being at the top, but I could also like feel like I like Horrorland more.
Unless
I'm
you
gonna
like put it next to put it like next to Horrorland. Or
I'm gonna
Place
put
it
it.
wherever.
I'm gonna put it in the
there.
middle.
Kind of
here.
goes.
Put it there.
I'm gonna put it in
Put
the middle.
the werewolf next to the creeps. That's fine.
I think this is a great werewolf story. Fever Swamp is
It's good,
definitely
yeah,
better.
It's really good.
But again,
I
like
love it.
like Haunted School, this one like went dark and it went crazy. And it's
You got
it's a
Arjun in
great
there.
concept. So yeah.
It's Hudgen.
Yeah. Yeah. Origin.
Yeah.
Arjun, yeah.
Foolishly good.
Why I'm Afraid of Bees.
No.
Near the bottom of mid bumps, maybe.
I'm gonna put it at the
okay.
bottom. Honestly,
I don't
I'll put
even
it
like that one.
I'll put it above Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes.
I don't even like that.
It's bottom
I don't
of
even
mid
like
though. I don't even like them. Why do you always try to give me a like?
Like that's like saying, oh, would I read? Wait, what would I read over? Why I'm Afraid of Bees? Would I?
I do
read-
like the B movie, B movie, ha 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 ha. The B movie aspect of Why I'm Afraid of Bees, sort of like the reminiscent of the '50s Fly, almost.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I would put it above the Lawn Gnomes, but it is at that teetering level of it will just kill you. And finally, the last one. So You Can't Scare Me.
See, now I like the cover, but I didn't much care for the book. I think the
Yeah.
episode is decent, but it's not great either.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's
I highly doubt
weird.
Charlotte Sullivan watches our podcast, but I apologize if you do. The episode was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it was at least better than the book.
Hey, if it's okay, it's meh, which would put it at the bottom of mid.
But I don't
box.
think it's okay. I think this is it will just kill you. I'm gonna
I would put it in front of Monster Blood 2, but that's
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's there. It's not a terrible book, but it's a kind of boring one. Once you even the mud monsters are just kind of like okay, those scenes are okay. But it's nothing to write home about. It's in that My Hairiest Adventure where it's not terrible. Like you could probably get some enjoyment out of it, but it's not a good story.
I got more enjoyment out of Harry Larry
than the Mud Monsters, which sucks.
than Mud Monsters.
Well, that's it. That is all 62 original Goosebumps books put into our collective ranking. This was
Ooh.
not as easy as I thought it was going to be. This was actually kind of tough because, there were some that we took a look at and were like, wow, kind of like that more than that. So going, by readings the screen, we got Haunted Mask, Stay Out of the Basement, Dead House, Jack-o'-lanterns, Living Dummy 2. We got Fever Swamp, Girl Cried Monsters, Scarecrow, Camp Nightmare, and I Live in Your Basement. So that's 10. So that's our top 10 right there in terms of our collective opinions. Ghoulishly Good, we got Say Cheese and Die, Camp Cold Lake, Horror Camp Jelly Jam, Haunted School, Werewolf Skin, Calling All Creeps, Ghost Camp, Horrorland, Terror Tower, Kukulachaloom, Piano Lessons, Headless Ghost, Ghost Next Door, Let's Get Invisible, Beware the Snowman, and Living Dummy 3. Mid Bumps, Haunted Mask 2, Living Dummy 1, Shocker on Shock Street, Return of the Mummy, Phantom of the Auditorium, Beast from the East, Blob to Ate Everyone, Egg Monsters from Mars, Be Careful What You Wish For, Ghost Beach, Vampire Breath, Attack of the Mutant, My Best Friend is Invisible, Chicken, Monster Blood 1, Deep Trouble 1, It Came From Beneath the Sink, Why I'm Afraid of Bees, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, and It Will Just Kill You. We got Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, My Harriest Adventure, You Can't Scare Me, Monster Blood 2, How to Kill Monster, Bad Hair Day, How I Learned to Fly, Mom Snowman Pasadena, How I Got My Shrunken Head, Deep Trouble 2, Don't Go to Sleep, and then finally at the shit pile, we got Go Eat Worms, Legend of the Lost Legend, Barking Ghost, Monster Blood 3, Say Cheese and Die Again, and Monster Blood 4 at the very bottom.
The last book is the worst book.
Ugh, boy. Yeah.
Well, not to Isaiah, apparently. Say Cheese and Die
You know
again,
what?
apparently.
We know what
deep
truly
hatred
killed
in his heart.
Goosebumps. We know what truly killed Goosebumps, and it was the final book.
It was the final book.
It was Monster Blood 4.
I honestly...
I would be interested. We should do this again with, like, Series 2000 and
definitely.
Give Yourselves. And be interested to see some of that. I mean, obviously, those will be relatively shorter episodes than this one due to the fact that they're not as long
maybe
a run.
We could just do them all in one episode.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we could.
So, but those I would definitely have to brush up on, those Series 2000.
Yeah, I would have to do that. Not so much Series 2000, but I'd definitely have to do that for the Give Yourselves.
So that one will probably be a little bit before we get to that one, but we definitely wanted to throw our 2 cents on what we thought we would rank collectively for the OG 62. And, you know, the good ones, they're good. The bad ones, they're bad. And surprisingly, a whole lot in the middle that we just kind of are tossed up on. So, but that's where we landed, the three of us. But we're curious to know what you guys at home think. I'll leave a link to this tier maker if you want to go ahead and make your own. Please share it with us on social media if you want to. We'd love to see your guys' opinions. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Would you place Chicken in the S tier? Has to be someone out there.
I would.
But let us know in the comments below. We'll share the tier list. Tag us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Let us know. We would love to know your opinions, but that's where we landed for our list. But that's going to do it for tonight's episode of the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. As always, make sure you follow Bjorn and Nick at Goosebumps, Saucy Fan, and Sean, respectively. If you like today's episode, make sure you leave a like and comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on our audio platforms and social medias. All those links are in the description below, so check them out. We'll have another episode for you next week. But until then, this has been the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. And from all of us here, we want to wish you all, as always, to take care, stay safe, and have a very scary day.